Hello, guys. How are you guys doing this evening? I am trying to get my second computer on so that I can see exactly what you guys are seeing on your end. And it helps me, in a way, see the chat just a tad bit better. Enter. This thing is not taking my fingerprint. Okay, looks like it took my fingerprint. Let me see something. Hey, so like you guys know, anytime, the couple days that I did not go on live, no one was doing all the grass, cutting the grass and making all the noise. But today, right before I go live, they decided to do that. So I waited a little bit. So hopefully they don't come back with the blowers and all of that. You may hear the crickets in my background. That's Lucas's dinner. So today we are going to be talking about Cleo Smith. There's one video I'm trying to find from yesterday, but I don't know, it's hiding somewhere, but I'll find it. And I want to be able to show you that as well. I wanted to show you guys the comparison from, not necessarily a comparison, but their demeanor, on the search for looking for their child, and how we think about other people's reactions. So is it true? Was she really taken from this campsite and her parents had no idea what was going on? Or do we have those thoughts from, bad thoughts that the parents had something to do with it? So, okay, this computer's coming on. Give me a quick second just to make sure I'm in the correct live, which I'm not. Let's see. Yes. Oh, I didn't put the thumbnail that I wanted. But it's cool. It's fine. All right. And there are some other things I wanted to talk about, with all of us here, the family. Let's see who we got in the building. And let's see. We got Make This Go Viral TV 2. We have Veronica. How are you, love? Hope you're feeling amazing. We have Jeanette in the building. Buddha. Hope you're feeling well as well. Hopefully you've been getting some sleep. Hey, Shay. I'm going to get you. You got me good. I'm going to get you. Let's see. We got Dukes in the building. So, Dukes, I cannot send you the gift card. On the back of the gift card, it says can only be used in the United States. So, I'm going to email you. And you can email me your Cash App information to see if that's a way that I can do it. I don't know all the rules with the Cash App, so we'll figure it out, though. We have Evelyn Jefferson. And that's all for now. That's in the chat. For the ones in the bushes, hello. So before I get to their story, I am going to talk to you guys about the different raffles and, cash prizes, games, stuff, just to get some of that stuff a little bit clearer. And I am going to make a video just for that alone, so everyone knows the rules and things like that, so we won't have any discrepancies. So I first want to start off with saying who were the winners of this, I guess, first time ever raffle and cash prize I've done since my little journey on YouTube. So for our first, the giveaway raffle, And I'm going to explain to you guys how that one works, because this last time around, it was just tickets, tickets, tickets. But I made it so it'll be simpler and not just tickets, everywhere. It'll still come out to your participation and your love for the family. So the first giveaway is cash, but this time it was cash, $25. And we chose 4 winners. So the first pick would get the cash or card, whatever. And the ones after that will get a gift chosen by me, or sometimes I'll if we have like a little separate little meeting on the outset of this, I'll ask you out of this, what do you want? So those winners were Duke, got the cash. Then we had Shay, Jostar, and Miranda. I don't have a little machine where you can hear all of that, but I'll be getting one soon. So if you guys can toss up some pom-poms and cheers for that. Then for our big winner, we have Veronica. So Veronica, Children Lives Matter, has won the $100. Then we have Kelly Come and At It Again for the runners-up. Towards the end, at the end of this video, I am going to say each way that you can get in these different raffles and donations and things like that. But starting from yesterday, any donations are going to go towards my Thanksgiving dinner for the homeless. And that also, not only will you get tickets from that, because those tickets go into the $100, but there are ways for you to get additional tickets. So I'll explain all of that to the end. So if you are one of the ones that participate in these things, at the end, we will discuss everything in and out. Yeah, salute. Okay, so now we're just going to get on to what we were originally talking about. And guys, I'm in the process of getting my P.O. box. So I'll be telling you how I want us to use the P.O. box to be able to give back to those in need. So first, I'm going to start off with the first video that I want to see. For those that have not seen it, it's on my page. I'm going to play that to get everybody caught up on what we're talking about. Then we're going to open up the panel. So the first video I want to play is going to be the video that is from my channel. So for the ones that do not get to see it, let me submit this really quickly. Actions. All right, let's see. So let me share my screen. And what's next for Cleo? I think I rather play, because you can go back into my my videos and watch that alone. But I think I'm going to go ahead and play this video because it's recent. And let's just see where they're going with it. All right. Okay, share. Okay, there we go. Let me know in the, dang, my words are so off today. Let me know in the chat if you guys can see and hear everything. I'm going to plug up my headphones. That way you guys will not hear an echo, because I found that to be a better way to do everything. So, go ahead. What I do? Good? Okay, I came back. So let's add to stream. This is the one that I want you guys to watch. Make sure it's not muted. Okay, it's not muted. have them on backwards, but I'll fix it in a second. So far, how is the sound? Can you hear it before I continue? And can you see what is on my screen? Please throw some pandas in the building if you can. And while you're doing that, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please do that for me as well. So let me make sure my screen is all caught up to where I can see your guys' comments. Okay, we should be all caught up. Oh, it took me backwards. Oh my, I don't know what's going on with this because it's not. I'll fix it in a second. I'm just going to click back to you guys to make sure you guys can see. So are you guys good? You can see, but no audio? Okay, let me check something real quick. So I'm going to remove it and I'm going to place it back again. Can you guys hear me good? Are you guys able to hear me? I need to get this to where I know for sure you guys can hear me. Yes, share the audio. Okay. So I'm going to be looking over here. If you guys cannot hear or see, please let me know immediately once I click over. So add it to stream. There we go. And we're going to start this one from the beginning. Thank you, Buddha. Can you see and hear the video? Okay, I see a stop sign. No audio? Okay, I was muted. Tell me if this works. It's the box when you click the share little button. Oh, did I skip that button? I didn't think I skipped that button. Let's try it. So, remove completely. Okay, I'm going to start all over. Share, share, little box, big box, share. Okay, add to stream. Right away, guys, let me know. So I'm going to click up here. Guys, bear with me. And I love you guys because you guys are always so patient.
Live now to our reporters in Carnarvon. First to Tim McMillan. How's that town coping? They've been through a lot.
Oh, they certainly have. And look, as we speak right now, I can just see the sun starting to...
That's good. All right. I'm here. I'm just gonna get size something. Can't hear him.
She didn't answer again, so I asked for a third time, and then she looked at me and she said, "My name's Cleo."
18 days of asking, where is Cleo? She was closer than anyone thought. 2 minutes from the Carnarvon police station. 7 minutes from her family home. A low-key suburban duplex nestled amongst a
Okay.
tight-knit community.
It's scary that a guy that grew up in this town and know a lot of people, like family members of a lot of people
Now,
around
can you
here
guys hear
too.
him?
It's a shock that we didn't actually see it. We didn't take notice of it.
That community may have helped trigger the alarm.
Visited the house to drop something off, and then he seen something. From what they said is they did see the little girl.
But the $1 million reward is...
So,
Right now to our reporting.
that ending part with the... Okay, so you guys were able to hear like that? Okay, so for those of you that are new to the channel, sorry, bear with me. I will be putting a timestamp of when it starts, so that way it'll be easier for you guys to just start where you got to get started. So I will put me a reminder to do that for you guys. And once again, I'm going to ask, were you guys just able to hear both? Just give me a few koalas so I know. So remember, time stamp, audio, God's corrected. Oh, my love, fun to be blonde. Are you feeling any better? Okay, everything was cool. So prayer hands for fun to be blonde. She's had the flu, not feeling well. Also prayers for Buddha, also not feeling well. Also Veronica, let's pray everything goes okay with all three of these young ladies. So for them. So I'm going to go ahead and play it right now. Hopefully everything will go great. And this is the last time we start over. But if you guys could not hear or see, put stop signs in there. Tell me to stop. All right, here we go. Let's go.
In Carnarvon. First to Tim McMillan. How's that town coping? They've been through a lot.
Oh, they... And look, as we speak right now, I can just see the sun starting to peek over the horizon. I have to say it feels pretty calm here at the moment. Yesterday was a really intense day. It was very emotional for a lot of people, an overwhelming sense of calm, but also feelings of shock as well. And today, I suppose, starts a new chapter. The first morning after the first night, Cleo spends reunited with her family, and you can only imagine they held her pretty tight last night. For police too, it's been a time of celebration and relief too, after a mammoth operation that ultimately led to the successful rescue of Cleo in the early hours of yesterday morning. A moment so few thought possible. Cleo Smith swept up in the arms of safety.
Are you okay? We're going to take you to see your mummy and daddy, okay?
Rescued by the police, all of it caught on body cam. They broke down the door, all four of them fathers. And there she was, awake. Then came her little voice, a sight, a sound that would capture a nation.
Just a very, very sweet, energetic girl, very, very trusting and very open with us. You know, we wanted to take turns in holding her.
Her prison, a stranger's home, hidden from view, scared and alone. Cleo was found in a locked room.
One of the guys jumped in front of me and picked her up, and I, you know, I just wanted to be absolutely sure that, you know, it certainly looked like Cleo. I wanted to be absolutely sure it was her, so I said, "What's your name?" And she didn't answer, and I said, "What's your name?" She didn't answer again, so I asked her a third time, and then she looked at me and she said, "My name's Cleo."
18 days of asking, where is Cleo? She was closer than anyone thought. 2 minutes from the Carnarvon police station, 7 minutes from her family home. A low-key suburban duplex nestled amongst a tight-knit community.
It's scary that a guy that grew up in this town and know a lot of people, like family members of a lot of people around here too, it's a shock that we didn't actually see it. We didn't take notice of it.
That community may have helped trigger the alarm.
Visit the house to drop something off, and then he seen something. From what they said is they did see the little girl.
But the $1 million reward is unlikely to be claimed.
No, it wasn't a tip-off as such. No, it was through the work that the team was doing, just methodically going through all of the work, all of the evidence.
Most of it phone data. The 36-year-old man suspected of taking Cleo from her family's tent. Locals say he was a loner and kept to himself. Now accused of kidnapping and holding captive a 4-year-old little girl.
Just walking around town, it feels like this cloud has been lifted.
Hours after he was arrested, an ambulance from the lockup to hospital.
No, I just heard a bit of banging and that, bit of banging, there and that on the wall.
He left a trail of blood, heard screaming, "I'm sorry." The breakthrough, unexpected, unlikely, unbelievable. They may have lost Cleo, but they never lost hope.
Joey Catanzaro, you're outside the home where Cleo was found. Where does the investigation go now?
I think we're unique because now, as you can see, we are in a studio app.
Koshi, police are hoping to formally charge Terence Kelly later today with kidnapping. If there are any other charges, they may take some time. A lot will depend on what evidence, if any, they're able to extract from the home behind me where Cleo was allegedly held captive. Now, there's also a possibility that specialist officers will be having a chat with Cleo today, possibly in the coming days, and a lot will depend on what she tells those officers. As for Kelly, well, he last night was taken to Carnarvon Hospital. He's since been transferred back to the holding cells. We're told that he's probably unlikely to face court today. It really will depend on when those charges are laid. Detectives are still building a case, though, that Cleo's now home, and that's the end of the search. But really, this is the beginning of the criminal investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
Joey.
Thank you, Joey. Look, let's go to the police. Deputy Commissioner Cole Blanche joins us now. Good morning to you. We talked to you yesterday. Obviously, a huge day, a remarkable rescue. Thanks for your time. What's the latest development in your investigation?
So we still have the 36-year-old male in our custody. He's still assisting with inquiries. Look, he's gone off to hospital. He's gone off to hospital again this morning. The important thing for police, if we're going to interview someone about offences as serious as this, that's something that we will need them in a condition where they've had rest, they're in a good mental state, they've been fed. So we've got to make sure we give them the best opportunity to answer our questions, and that's to ensure that the court process, is validated if we get to that point.
Cole, you've been emphasising that this wasn't part of a sinister, wider child abduction ring, which sets every parent's mind at ease, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the number one focus for police is to have the community feel at ease. You know, we want people in WA to enjoy our lovely state. We don't want them afraid of camping, one of the greatest things to do in Western Australia. So we have to give that public reassurance that the investigation that we've done, the outcome that has been obtained is something that we will move on with this investigation. But as far as the community themselves, that fear can probably now go away.
You've also, I think, talked about whether anyone's eligible for that $1 million. Maybe not, because it was general good police work that solved this.
Yeah, look, the police collected so much information from day one for those 18 days that they were able to trawl through and put that jigsaw puzzle together. Now, that part of that jigsaw puzzle was information from the community, but it all contributed to the outcome yesterday morning. Look, we're not going to discount that it's not going to be paid out, but certainly, the information that I have from the police is that really it was good, hard detective and intelligence analyst work.
Yeah. Cole, you guys have to face some terrible things. You're always under pressure. Everyone's a critic of the police. I've got to say, personally, it was so nice to see the human side of policing when Cameron Blaine showed so much empathy and warmth and compassion to little Cleo coming out, asking her name. You're all humans, you're all dads. It was emotional for you all, wasn't it?
Look, we're mums, dads, we're part of the community. One of the big focuses for Western Australia Police is to realise who we are. We are part of the community. We police by consent in WA. We've got great community support. We've always enjoyed that. It's what has made our relationship with WA community great. And in times like an investigation into Cleo, that's when we need the help the most. So it's not just for the investigation that we need to behave that way. It's always, and we've always taken that approach. And Commissioner Chris Dawson has done a lot to bring those values into the WA Police Force.
Yeah, it is to be commended. The other thing we noticed, Cole, we're just looking at those pictures of when she was brought out of the house, her hair seemed clean. She seemed to have been cared for somewhat. Could you talk us through that in any way?
Look, the police have been on record a number of times in the last 24 hours about saying, her physical well-being seemed okay. But there's a lot of work to be done with a child of such young age to understand what they've been through for those 18 days. That's the work that's really going to start from today onwards. We wanted to give Cleo that time with family, but there's a lot of work to be done from the investigation perspective, is really to piece together those 18 days. I don't think any child taken from their family away from them for 18 days is not going to suffer some type of trauma. So it's a really slow, dedicated process with professionals.
Just explain those professionals. Who will talk to Cleo? What sort of process and care do you have around getting the right information but trying to scare her further or spook her?
Look, we have an entire squad dedicated to interviewing children. They're specialist child interviewers. And look, they spend an extraordinary amount of time talking to these children. So it's not like you would do a normal adult interview where you're basically straight into what happened. It's really about getting to know them, making them feel comfortable, and they can talk when they're ready to talk. That's the really important part. You have to be so careful with these interviews. And you know what? If they don't want to talk, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Do you expect to get much information out of a little 4-year-old girl?
Look, it's always going to be limited given the age. There might be some basic things, certainly, what the environment was like, timeframes, who they spoke to, what was spoken about. But again, this investigation is much larger than her version of events, but we're obliged to ask her those questions, but we just have to do it in the most careful and care way with a lot of support around her at the time. We don't want to cause more distress to Cleo. I mean, that's the last thing police would ever want to do.
Absolutely. Is there any indication that anyone else visited the man in his home during those 19 days, or whether she was kept there the whole time?
Look, that's all subject to the investigation that's underway at the moment about the circumstances of those 18 days in that house. It's not front of mind at the moment. It's not our immediate information that is the case, but certainly we have to go through each day forensically and work out who came, who didn't, and what the circumstances were and what took place in that house.
Because we went through all this time, didn't we, those 19 days, and then you pounced. Can you tell us why?
Yeah, sure. Look, for 18 days, we put together the information. And we had so much information to put together. It was literally a needle in a data haystack. And we got to a point where we could sort of see the picture that we believed fit the circumstances. And it did lead to that house. It led to the person in that house, and we went there. And the footage is incredible footage. I keep watching it over and over again to see those officers, those 4 officers, including Detective Senior Sergeant Cameron Blaine, and as you've already said, Koshi, the care shown to Cleo on arrival, it's just, it's a moment I don't think in time that anyone will ever forget.
Because people are talking about pings from mobile phones, information about the car being moved. Was it all those things combined?
Yeah, police solve crimes through what I say is data overlays. So we put the phone data over number plate recognition data, CCTV, witness accounts, forensics, and when you layer them on top of each other, you solve crimes, and that's exactly what we've done here.
Okay. Again, can you pass on our great thanks of a nation to all of your colleagues, Cameron Blaine, for the sort of the care he showed. Is he ever out of his suit?
Look, I think he's had the shortest celebration in history, and he's back into it today. So, Cameron and his team have got a long way to go, and I can guarantee you they're under strict instructions to wear those suits because, it's what police are expected to look like.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, weren't we?
Oh, no. Every time you saw him, he was in his suit. Hopefully you pick up the dry cleaning bill at least. All right, Cole, appreciate your time.
Oh, absolutely, we'll definitely. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Okay, guys, so that was that. I'm going to open up the panel. And like I said, anyone can come on panel. If you're a sub, even if you aren't, hopefully I can get you to want to sub to the channel. This is a channel that is non-judgmental. You're able to speak your opinion, even whether I agree with it or disagree. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. So I'm going to put the link in the chat so you guys can pick that up and let's have a discussion. Yes, I am very, very, very happy that this little girl was found alive and found, what they're saying, healthy. But I believe Australia's news, the way that they covered this, is in a really, really, really nice way. A very, what can I say? Like if they had what is that? Like say if I had to give a big speech to a large group of people, or, a broadcast that's a lot of people are going to be there, and you have that person behind you kind of, guiding you and stuff like that. I can't really think of what the name of it is. It's like right there, but it's not there. Dang, what are they called? Anyway, it seemed like, okay, it's getting me confused. So I'm going to just leave it alone. I know the word I'm trying to say, but I can't think of it. Did you guys get up with the link? I did not put the link. Let's see. Let's paste. And send. Is it only sending to one? Okay, no, it's sent to both. Mine's just in scroll down. So go ahead, hop in. Let's talk about it. Where do we go from here? Because what were they doing with this little girl the whole time? What is she taking out of this experience? She had a nice little smile on her face. Hey, I'm Chloe. I always say Chloe, sorry. Cleo. Cleo, I always say. So guys, hop up. Let's talk about it. Do you think that this was done? Ooh, and we have someone from Australia in the building, and someone I just adored so much. So here we go. This is my screens.
Good morning. Or should I say good evening to you all?
And we also
Hi,
have
honeys.
new in the building. Let's see. Who else is going to come on and roll in here?
Put me down the bottom.
Hello.
I'll fix it. Get a second.
I'm in timeout.
You're in timeout.
I'm in
For those
timeout.
of you guys, hold on a second. For those of you guys that are new to this channel, I give away. Let's see who's out of the background. That's you. Let me fix her. So I do give away raffle tickets, which go into this lovely silver container. And that's for people that hop up on the panel, is down to discuss the topic. And if you are also in the chat and you're constantly in here, it normally comes whoever is first in the building, then it goes from there how often you are interacting with everyone in the chat. So even if you come first, second, and you only say hello and then you know nothing else, you will not receive that ticket. So for those, I go up to the first 5, but the very first person in here gets a ticket no matter what. And that goes in there, and the remainder 5 I give kind of towards the end. And this is you new on this side. She helps me go through these things. And let me just make sure everybody's on mute. Go through the chats and make sure that I'm getting everyone and they are, being fair. And then the panel tickets. So it's whoever's on panel and it's discussing. They go into this jar. When I decide to, I always put up a video for, so you'll know when I'm going to choose, because you have to be in the building and you have to be subscribed to both of my channels, my Instagram, my now Twitter, and Facebook. So, like I said, at the end of this, and I will be making a video of how everything goes and that. Also, in this live from now until we choose, you can give donations, and my donations go to this month is feeding the homeless for Thanksgiving, also giving them hygiene. Everyone needs to be muted. Hygiene baggies, and what else? There's also something else I'm going to tell you guys about, but I will do that later so we can go ahead and get to this. So here we go. Go ahead, y'all. Who's going first? What do you feel about this?
Okay, I'll go first. Thing is, I'm running out of battery.
So this is Screets, and she actually lives in Australia. Right. Go ahead, Screets. The floor is yours.
And I'm about 1,000 k's away from where all of this took place. So
okay,
I think that's about 590 miles.
Okay.
In miles, yeah. Since finding out, well, as soon as I saw something, heard something yesterday while I was getting ready to go out, I sent you, and you knew, message straight away. Bang! This is what the latest is. So yeah, I've got a very strong suspicion that this guy could have some sort of mental health issues.
Okay.
Something in my soul is just giving me that vibe. Okay. I mean, hey, he may not. I could be completely wrong. My spidey senses could be off. But for some reason, the thing is, from the sounds of it, this man has not touched this child. So if he is somebody who has mental health issues, he could just like the friendship of small children. And because she's from the area and he's seen her around, it could just be one of those things where every time he's seen her at the shops or whatever the case is, he smiled at her and she's always smiled back.
Oh, okay.
So he's felt some sort of child level friendship. So to me, that's where I'm feeling like he may have some sort of mental issues. Nobody's mentioned anything about it. So if that's the case, he's taken her because of the fact that she's not one of these kids that scowls at the way he looks or whatever the case is. It's just she's always smiled at him and been friendly. Because the family doesn't know him. They say they don't know him. But if she's 7 minutes away from home and a couple of minutes away from the police station, well, the police station would basically be about the center of town, really.
Right.
So that's where my thinking is right now.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that she was So you're thinking it was more on a friendly thing, and when
Yeah,
the police
the man.
came, they kind of locked her in. But you don't think that there was any like, yeah, foul play? She was kidnapped, but do you think anything else
Yes.
happened?
For some reason, well, look, for a start, the cops are not putting out there that this child was touched. She's healthy. She's
Okay.
healthy. She's obviously been fed. So maybe he has child mind, like a child mind. Yes, he lives alone, and there's that adult aspect of him. But if he have some sort of mental issue, he could be quite childlike. This
Okay,
is why and he's not touched her the way we would have expected of something like this. Of everything we've seen, like, come on, let's say what 99% of cases they've touched the child in one way or another.
Right. So
This
you
child
don't
is
get that feeling at all.
No, I for some reason in my soul, I'm just feeling like this guy has got mental issues and he's childlike.
Right.
And she's a friend, he's not looked at her in a sexual way or anything like that. Because think about it, the child was with him over 2 weeks. The child was with him for over 2 weeks. Anything could have happened. But she's come out clean. And for him to go and buy nappies, he's looking at it from a childlike perspective. He's gone and bought diapers, not thought to go and buy underwear. But then he's a single man. For him to buy little girl underwear, one, he would not necessarily know sizing. Two, he's not going to be washing underwear. So it's a case of, well, what do you get for a small child? You get them diapers. So he's gone out and bought diapers. And that was one of the triggers to finding him. Because everybody in town would know him, and suddenly he's buying diapers. Hang on a second, this is strange.
Right. Where's the baby?
Exactly.
And they said he lived 7 minutes away. And
exactly.
If you watched the video I posted before this one, it's also online on their news channel. They were saying that, yeah, they were looking in the water, they were looking everywhere. But for some reason, they got some type of tip off for them to be able to go into her house, look in her house to see if there's any signs of someone stalking, looking on the outside and inside. So they're believing that whoever this person is was outside, probably peeking at her, maybe outside just listening to the conversation, knowing that this weekend they were going to be at this place, was there scoping it because they waited to the perfect moment because they say she couldn't have zipped that zipper. No. So when their backs are turned, he was right in there and out. Got her gone. They said they heard a car speeding off from there, but something in that house, and I want to know what it is because I'm just curious. They said it made them think that he had been watching her from a while, from a distance at times, and also at times right there.
And the thing is, being 7 minutes away, is it a 7-minute walk? Is it a 7-minute drive? We don't know exactly what the 7 minutes means. But at the same time, okay, if it's a 7-minute walk, he could have been walking past her house regularly. She's playing out the front. He's, and then she looks up and says, "Hello." I mean, look how innocent she is and sweet. Yeah. She looks like the kind of kid who would talk to any stranger. Right. Because she's in the safety of her front yard. So he walks past, she says hello, he says hello, he keeps it moving, sees her at the shops on the regular or whatever the case is. He's seen this child around town. And because she's been so friendly towards him, he's like, she's my little buddy.
Right. But took it a bit too far this time, right?
But and that's the thing is because his little buddy is suddenly not at home.
Right.
I got to make sure my little buddy's taken care of. No, she could have been out the front yard playing with mud for all we know. And the mum's come out and gone, "Chloe, what are you doing in the mud?" Oh, sorry, Cleo. What are you doing in the mud?
Cleo, I keep.
He could have seen that and thought, "Oh, my little buddy's in trouble. I got to protect my little buddy."
Yes.
So he thinks he's protecting her because he's possibly got this childlike mind about him.
Right.
That's where I'm kind of looking at it like, once we get more information, if it does turn out that that's the case, then there you go. That's what it is. I mean, hey, that's just one angle I'm coming from.
Right.
I'm coming from way, way, way out there. But you never know.
Does anybody else have any, something to say, Jeanette?
I have a question for Screets because I think I'm with you on that just because, but I want to know if they do that. They're like, they said that they took him to the hospital and they're making sure he's fed and stuff. So like here, usually if like somebody's arrested for a crime, they don't just go to the hospital.
No, something's happened along the way. Was he put into a cell and there was somebody else in the cell and there's been an incident there for them to take him to the hospital? Because initially, and admittedly in the last 24 hours, I've not been able to keep up because I've been busy, but it seems really odd that they've arrested him. Did they arrest him and he was already some sort of altercation? And that's why they've taken him straight there? Or is it something that happened in lockup?
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, is he like what we call 5150? Is that why? Because they arrested him out of his home, so he couldn't have been in there starving. Like, she obviously wasn't starving.
No. And this is the thing with that, like Fun to Be Blonde said, it's called the Peter Pan effect. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Fun. This man could not have been starving unless he was down to his last and he was making sure she was looked after.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a parent, that's the one thing we would do. If we were on our last, we would make sure our children were fed first before we worried about ourselves.
Right.
So that's why I'm strongly feeling like this guy is childlike, and it's not what we would have initially thought days ago, weeks ago when the story first came out.
But in Australia, the normal procedure if somebody's arrested would be to take them to jail, right? Not to the hospital.
Yeah, no, they go straight to, unless there was something, like they said he was bleeding. Where was he bleeding from? Was it some self-inflicted injury? Was there something that someone else has inflicted upon him? Was he trying to run and he slipped and he banged his head and he's bleeding? Well, got a bandage around his head, so he's bleeding from his head.
Mm-hmm.
Was he concussed? There's all those sorts of questions that go along with until we can find out what the scenario was at the time of arrest. Then we'll know. But go straight to the hospital. Something's happened prior to them picking him up or during them picking him up. Was he fighting against the police and they've had to try to subdue him, and in that time an injury's occurred? So the right thing for them would be to seek medical advice, and then from there, once he's been cleared by the doctors, take him in and do what they've got to do as per regular process.
Right.
Okay, so in the comments, before this, Fun to Be Blonde says, I believe it's the Peter Pan effect. I thought she was kidding, but here's what she says. She says, Peter Pan syndrome affects people who do not want or feel unable to grow up. People with the body of an adult, but a mind of a child. The syndrome is not currently considered a what?
Psychopathology.
Yeah, psychopathology. We were having this the other night, when
me,
Randa Panda, we were the psycho and physio. Psycho and physio, because we're reading something with like both, and it's like, oh gosh, we're like, oh man. So that's pretty interesting. We do see these things where, there are adults that don't want to grow up.
Yeah.
That want to still even take it further than that, still wear diapers, still have a nanny, so where they're actually using the bathroom on themselves and they're getting their undies changed, still want to drink out of a bottle, still want to call whoever they select mommy, still, things like that. So this is very real, and that's a nice way to look at it, Streets, because I don't know. I had a different thought. Anyone
I
else?
did too.
Miranda?
I did too. I did too first. But after listening to Screets, I do agree. You know, because I think here in America, you know, we automatically go to the first, you know, that's our first thought is that it was something, you know, something bad.
Negative. Negative.
Something negative. But there are people like that. You know, the fact that she was clean and like Screet said, he had bought her underwear or whatever the case. I believe, you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I feel like that's part of the grooming. Who would want a nasty child?
Could be.
Wait. Why do you say nasty child?
A dirty child, a child with dirty clothes, or like if they're eating and they got food on their clothes, like that. That's what I mean by nasty child. Like somebody who's not being kept. They want, when they groom them to what they want, how they would
Are
see
you
a
saying
person.
groomed as in, I got ink everywhere. Are you saying groomed as in washing your hair, you know, shower, whatever? Are you saying grooming in the fact, and I mean, in the way of saying grooming as in when, you know, an adult is kind of training a child to be a little older to take advantage of them in a sexual way? Which grooming are you saying?
That grooming, the second part.
Okay, go ahead.
And I also feel like the parents have something to do with it.
Okay, and why is that?
Because when I was watching, from the whole time I seen the videos, I seen a lot of her in other parents that I've seen that had something to do with it, and that is the dry tears. She didn't cry, and when she did cry, she was squeezing the hell out of it, and then he wasn't crying. And I know he's not the father, but you know what? That's your child regardless, because you're in the home, you're caring for that child. That's your child. And I saw them. They were both looking at each other like, yeah, you know, that's right. Is that correct?
Constantly
are we saying
reassuring.
It right? Right, exactly. They kept looking at each other to see if they're saying the right they're confirming what they talked about prior to doing the interview. Like I told you, that's how I feel. That's what I had.
And the first thing you look into
What
is
about,
family
I was gonna
finances.
say, go ahead, add it. What'd you say?
The first thing you look into is the family finances.
Okay, and elaborate.
Yeah, look into the family finances. Were they in debt? Did they need to pay out something? Why the reason the little girl is gone? Why they picked him? So.
I totally agree with you on that, because there was my initial thought with the first interview that I did watch of the parents, which was nearly 2 weeks later, you know, once we were sort of getting more information. And then I look back on the interviews with the parents. One, the parents stood out to me to be a bit suspicious. Yes. Two, my thought was, okay, so a reward will have to go to somebody who's not related, who they don't know, and all that sort of thing. So could this guy have been somehow set up? Because they had only gotten to the camping grounds that evening. It was, you know, becoming dark. They were setting up. Who the heck would have known that that child was there unless you saw them arrive? Now, this guy obviously wasn't a part of the whole camping lot that were there at the time. So if he he's basically gone in, picked her up, sped off, not wanting to get caught or anything like that. He sped off, put her in this house, and she's been there for 18 days. So is there something somewhere that someone has set this whole scenario up? Yeah. And for me, the other thing that I thought was just completely out of whack was it was very soon after her disappearing. Suddenly there's $1 million. Who does $1 million straight off the bat like that? So there was something extremely fishy about it. Instantly $1 million. That's the highest reward ever offered in Australia for a missing child. I mean, come on. And this isn't being set up by the family.
It's not even in the U.S. So that's why I was like, what the heck? That was quick to get that $1 million up.
So
everybody else start with 10K, 15K, 20K, and 3,000. And you know, it's like that $1 million just like boom. Like where the hell?
Do you think they knew the person? Is that what you're thinking?
Say that again.
Do you think they knew the family and they were just having him hold them?
Okay, so I have a question. This
Hey
guy.
guys, can we try to do one at a time so we can hear each other?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yep.
So is this guy have it all? Is he have it all? Like, is he mentally able to think on his own? Is what I'm
Not
saying.
really.
I'm looking at more stuff in the background as you guys are speaking. I'm trying to find information about him at all. I still haven't found anything of them releasing his name. I'm still looking. So, well, I'll let you guys know whatever I find.
I feel like if he doesn't have it all, he was coerced into doing this.
Right.
So they can get the money and he gets put in prison.
Right.
Didn't they say he had food delivered? There was a food delivery, and somebody who delivered the food saw her. So who's delivered the food? Where did the food come from? Who's paid for it?
So do you guys have Instacart? Who do you have that kind of thing at in Australia?
Yeah, like we have Uber Eats and
Uber Eats, okay.
stuff like we've got stuff like that. But
okay,
it still is a case of, well, hang on a second. If they're saying he's not been fed, then where did an Uber Eats come from? You know, if it's an Uber Eats type situation, where did that come from? Who's paid for it? Why wouldn't he have? You know, if he's that close to the center of town, why didn't he just go out and pick up food? Go to McDonald's, go to KFC, go somewhere like that. You know, kids love McDonald's over here just as much as anything else. Why not just go there and pick up, you know, nuggets? It doesn't have to be in the kids' Happy Meal, but why not just go out and, you know, buy the things that would be a cheeseburger, nuggets, drinks? Why wouldn't you just go out and get that?
So the person that saw her, you said that one that was delivering the food, correct?
Yes. Somebody had said on one of the channels, somebody said there was a food delivery and the food delivery person saw her.
Okay.
So hang on. If you've seen her, how long ago was that? Was that just more recently, like 2 days before they found her? Or was this way back when?
Or if it was somebody, this is a scenario. If it was somebody besides someone from Uber Eats who set this up for him to get caught that quick so he can go ahead and get that meal.
Yeah, but how would they have known that this was going to be? And I don't know. You can tell me if.
Wait,
wait, hold on a second. How would they have known if this was going to be in $1 million case of a reward? Screens, what is the normal amount that they would do for something like this? Normally, approximately.
You'd be going in the tens of thousands to start with. And as the case got further and further, then you'd be looking at, I mean, for me, I'm not flush with cash that way, but if it was my child, I'd be looking at, okay, pull the families, both sides of our family together. How much can everybody put in? Okay, well, we managed to get $80,000 all up. We've got $80,000 in cash all up. Let's put the $80,000 out there for, any good lead that comes to some sort of fruition.
Right.
250,000, anything above about $100,000, I would honestly say you've either got money like that to put, $100,000 reward on it.
Okay, so now I have one more.
Look at the family's finance, and if that's the case, because they know of this guy, and most of the people in the town know of this guy. He was a pansy, but if you get your $1 million and you can't find your kids, what you gonna end up with?
Right.
Okay, and then I have a question. Okay, so the $1 million that was put up, it was put up for what? For them to go looking for her, to expand on the searching, or
No,
is it for whoever finds her? You guys get that $1 million, right?
Whoever finds her
gets the.
And I'd say it would be one of those things where, if Naomi was the one to give them that leading tip, like, okay, so Naomi was an Uber Eats chick. She's gone to the house because whoever's ordered the food, she's gone in there, she's knocked on the door, and for whatever reason, he's not got the child locked in the bedroom. She's walked past the doorway. Naomi's seen the kid, hightailed it straight to the cops and said, I've just done a delivery at this address. I've just seen the little girl you're looking for, because her picture's plastered everywhere. That picture I sent you, New and Naomi. I think I don't think I sent it to you, New. But that picture, that poster.
I saw the video.
That poster. Now, considering we're nearly 1,000 kilometres, 590 miles away from there, that poster is on so many cars down here in my area. It's beyond. We've got our local delis, our petrol stations, all sorts of places have got those posters there. They've got posters stuck in the windows, and they've got posters that you could pick one up and put it on your car. There's even stickers made up on people's bumper bars. I've never ever seen a case like this ever.
Okay, so another question I have: you guys have the corona situation, right? Where people have to they can't come into your home, correct?
In WA, we're actually lucky because we don't have any corona cases, so we're living life freely the way we were 2 years ago.
Okay.
So in that sense, it's just a case of we roam free.
Okay, so people can walk into your home when they deliver your food, is what you're saying. Do they normally do that? Do they walk into homes? Because they're supposed to drop it at your door. They don't
Wait. What do you mean walk into the home?
Like if they,
he said they can bring it inside and lay it on the table.
That's what I'm asking. Is that the way they do it? Yeah.
No. This Uber Eats person said they were delivering food and they saw her. That's why I'm saying she could have walked. She could have walked past the front door, because even my kids yesterday afternoon, they had Uber Eats before I got home, and the Uber Eats guy comes to the door, rings the doorbell or knocks on the door, and they hand you your food at the door, so they don't physically enter.
Okay.
You just pick up from the door.
Okay. Now, another thing I have is, you're saying, so the person whoever brought the food, you're not sure it's a Uber Eats, correct? Like it could have been a personal delivery, right?
It could have been the local takeaway that delivers.
Right. So I'm thinking maybe he wasn't all there for him to have her be seen. He can't be all there, because normally if you're going to kidnap a child, you're going to keep them away from whoever's coming over.
And as soon as there's, even if she's roaming free in the house, as soon as you hear a knock, you'd be picking her up and shooing her into that room, closing the door, locking it up, and then going to the door.
So
there is no way. But for her to be obviously roaming free in the house, he felt comfortable enough that she wouldn't have been seen. But for whatever reason, she might have just walked from one room to the next, and whoever saw her.
I'm just trying to figure out if it was a Uber Eats, or if it was like a delivery company, or was it a personal person coming to bring the food to the child or to the house?
Did he order the food?
That's what I'm trying to find out. All that.
That's what we don't know, is whether or not he delivered, he's ordered it, or whether or not, if we're going with the way we're sort of thinking that, okay, let's say this is a setup, because financially, there's going to be money in there. So, okay, this is a setup. So we need somebody to go and deliver food. So it just happens to be somebody who, maybe if I give you this, can you deliver this to there? But then this person's realized that they've gotten there, they've seen the child, and went, hang on a second, there's $1 million up. I could be making some money here by just saying, hey, listen, I've seen something. So you report that you've seen something. But the cops are a little bit hesitant until, they do what they do. They go through the needle in the haystack, see what this person's brought something straight to the front. Let's see what else matches up with this.
Right.
Oh, hang on. He's bought diapers. Oh, he's bought diapers maybe a day or two beforehand. Then this person says they physically seen the child doing a delivery. And until you speak to that person to find out, are they working for either a takeaway type business where they do a delivery? Are they working for an Uber Eats type situation? Or how did this person come to be at the front door with food?
Okay, so I'm thinking it's a possibility that he was sent by the parents. He was part of the conclusion of them going ahead and getting their daughter back, because all they wanted was the money. So they're probably giving that person money to, look, go do this. Go say you've seen her. you gonna get the money and we gonna split it up.
Wait, I thought they said that that no one got the money. It was like a police gathered all information and no one was getting the money.
So they already said nobody's gonna get the money, but this is what they thought maybe.
The
From
parents
my
would
understanding.
get the
Go ahead,
money.
Jeanette.
I don't see how the parents would get the money. You're saying she was 7 minutes or 7 miles away. Which one?
No,
7 minutes.
She lived.
7 minutes. The parents would.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. She lives 7 minutes away, but they were at a campsite. I'm gonna pull up a map in a second. They were at a campsite, and that's where she got taken from because supposedly they had one of those big tents where the whole family can be in, and it's kind of like split, so the kids can be here, whatever. I guess she woke up at 1:30 a.m. in the morning because she wanted a sip of water, maybe had to go pee, whatever the case may be.
Right.
After all this, she says she turns to her husband, looks,
How
that's why I'm
far
trying
is
to figure
it
that out.
from the campsite? How far?
Say it again.
How far from the campsite? That seems like a weird. That does seem like a weird convenient, like a weird.
Yeah.
Weird. That seems.
That's why I'm saying he had to be watching or listening or something and in on them to know that they were going camping this day, to just be standing by lurking for that good moment. Maybe he was trying to wait for them all to go to sleep.
If he lives
sneak in there and get her. Huh?
If he lived 7 minutes from the home, he could have easier taken her from the home.
Yeah, but he
Like, why
probably
would he have to wait for them to go camping or whatever?
maybe he thought it'd be easier to wait for them to go to sleep. All he has to do is unzip this thing. Hold on, let me close this door.
And that's the other thing too, is at what given point in our right minds would we go and take a child knowing that the parents and, all four of them were sleeping in this tent? Now, how would we know that the parents aren't at the front of the tent protecting their children and the children are at the back of the tent where you can't reach them? Had the tent been slit, the child been taken because she was right where the slit was? Okay, that's a whole different scenario.
I wonder if she was taken from the campsite at all.
They said she couldn't reach it. They said she couldn't even reach it.
This
So
is what they said.
Hold
Hold on a second. Hold on, Jeanette. Hold on.
I got a possibility though.
Hold on, Jeanette. So this is what they said. This is what the mom was saying. She said, after she did the whole water thing, she, I guess, turned to her husband, was saying something, and went to guys check on her again, and she was gone. Supposedly, from her hand motion, she says the zip was way too high for her to reach. So whoever this is had to be standing somewhere by, but when you look at the area they're looking in, it doesn't really look like they can be hiding behind anything unless they're going around this little trailer type building thing. So maybe he was already there seeing that, okay, this is the perfect time. She's over here. We don't really know. She could have got the water, went over to her husband. They're sitting here doing like something intimate together, wasn't paying attention. Oh, let's go check on the kids. She wasn't there. We don't know because she waited a good amount of time before she called the police. They said they went looking first.
Is the zip two-sided?
So
is the zip two-sided? Because normally you zip it from inside, not outside.
But so what happens if the little girl, what if the little girl got up in the middle of the night and wandered off or sleepwalks or something, was lost and tried?
That's a possibility, but from what the mom says, I'm gonna pull it up.
And
what
tried
the mom
to go
says
home.
that she gave her the water. It sounds real quick.
No, but I'm saying, what if she tried to go home, given that she was found 7 minutes from her home? And not 7 minutes from the campsite. She might have tried to go home and he might have come up on her. And because he's mentally disabled, he just didn't know how to get the information. He might have just been keeping her
They're
safe.
saying they're 75 miles from the campsite.
Yeah.
So how is that child walking 75 miles?
She's 4 years old.
Yeah.
And she's and the sleeping bag was taken as well. A 4-year-old.
He's
a
walking.
4-year-old.
This guy drives.
They said there was a car heard zooming away from the area. So on the news they showed the sleeping bag and the pajamas she was in.
Now the thing with that is, if this guy doesn't drive or just doesn't have a vehicle, okay, if he drives, he could have borrowed a vehicle. There's that scenario. The other scenario is he could have had someone with him who's doing the getaway driving, He's gone in, he's taken the child as planned,
Mm-hmm.
and then, you know, it's too much of, to me, it's too much of a planned scenario. The same day he goes missing, literally in less than 12 hours.
And it's
she goes missing.
their first time going there. That's the thing. A lot of people have been coming up missing from a first time thing. This is the first time she did this, and now she's missing. The first time this, she's missing, or he's missing, or whatever. It seems like they do things on their first time. They all of a sudden they have something missing. It's almost like it was set up that way.
That's where, to me, after watching the mother and the mother's partner, because it's not her dad, it's not Cleo's dad. So watching this, I'm kind of like, hang on a second. The father's been cleared. So, you know, I haven't shown the father, but the father was instantly cleared because it's not a case
I
of.
wouldn't think they would be trying to get.
It's not a custody thing, so he was cleared.
Money, maybe insurance money, but not reward money.
So so they're saying nobody's getting the reward money, correct?
Right, but
that means they found out something. Why would they not give the reward to where it's due, to the person that supposedly found her?
To the Uber Eats driver. The Uber Eats driver should.
Why is he not getting the money then?
Right now.
Because at the end of the day, the cops, the cops looking at it from the from an angle, I'm thinking, well, hang on, everybody who's given that little bit of information, that, you know, every little step along the way where people have given information that's come to fruition, wouldn't you be looking at it going, well, hang on a second, this person helped in this sense, this person helped in this sense, why don't we not give them the entire amount, but why don't we give each little person X amount of dollars? So for me, standing at the door, handing over food and watching and seeing the child's face, I've gone straight to the cops. I've given you the information. What about 10 grand to me? Because that was a big clue.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Why not to the person who rang in with the clue about him buying the diapers? They've never seen him buying diapers before. The man's lived in the area all his life. They might not know him, but you know, you work in a supermarket, you know who the regulars are in that place and what type of stuff they buy. Come on.
Right.
So suddenly this man's buying diapers, and it's not like he's buying them and saying, oh, you know, my neighbors asked me to come get these. I'm not sure if they're the right ones.
Well, she's 4 years old. Why is she wearing diapers?
Because he's trying to keep her clean, and he obviously can't go out and buy little girls' underwear because he's going to look super sus. So thinking that this is his way out, maybe.
But diapers is worse than
a dad
underwears.
If it's a guy, they can go. It could be a grandpa, whoever can go get diapers or underwears. They don't know. That would have to be a guilty, you know, conscience if you feel that it would look weird.
It looks even weirder to get diapers.
Why? Anybody could buy diapers for anybody.
Yeah.
It's only gonna seem weird to the person that knows they're doing something they ain't got no business doing. Yeah. And that's just in the back of their mind, thinking everybody looking at them.
Yeah. So I have a question, YouTube, real quick before I forget, because you know my memory thing. Okay, so
and then after that, I want to hear what At It Again and Miranda have to say, because they haven't been able to talk.
Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so my question is, when you guys get Uber Eats, do they come into your home to drop off your products, or do you meet the person at the door like they do in United States?
No, you meet them at the door. You meet them at the door.
So the question with this is was this person able to walk in because it wasn't an Uber Eats person or someone that was personally known?
No, generally speaking, no food delivery person will ever come into your home. They'll meet you at the door.
Exactly.
Unless I've got brand new set of twins and I'm holding them and I say, oh, do you mind coming in and putting it on the dining room table?
Right.
Then they'll walk in. If you've invited them, then they'll do it. Because to them, you're holding two babies. Your home is safe for me to walk into.
So where did that guy say they saw? I mean, he saw Chloe. I'm sorry.
This is where in my head I'm looking at it as I'm standing there delivering food, and this child's walked across, maybe from one room to the next, and you've just happened to see her in the hallway, or she stuck her head out and looked at you.
Okay.
You know, she was not meant to be there, but for that split second, this guy's got no control over where she is because he's got his back to her. He's at the door collecting food.
Right. Okay.
So that's where it's like, will we ever find out if she happened to walk from across the hallway from one room to another? Did she come out of a room and stand there and look at you and then walk away? What was that scenario in the house at that point? Until the driver is spoken to or possibly interviewed, then, yeah. Like Evelyn says, a lot of times kids follow their parents to the door, or maybe she walked, oh, I missed it. Yeah. So, yeah, the delivery person could have seen this child in any sort of way other than them physically walking into the house.
Okay. So
Because
they
it's not
actually said it was a Uber Eats. It wasn't like a personal drop off of food, correct?
No, we don't know that yet.
Okay. All right.
That's my theory, is it's some sort of food delivery person.
Right. Okay.
If we're going with the theory that this was a setup, who's to say who that person was?
Right. That's what I'm wondering.
I mean, hey, mate, listen, I'll give you $100. Can you just go drop this food at this address?
Right.
Yeah, okay. It could be an 18-year-old you've asked to do this.
Right.
This 18-year-old is clueless to whatever's going on. They're just like, yeah, cool, $100, easy $100. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
You know, there's my drinks for the weekend. There's my weed for the weekend, whatever the case is, you know. I mean, who's going to say no to delivering food you've prepared possibly or whatever for $100?
Right.
Somebody's going to want to take that up.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
You
Go
know,
ahead. Go ahead. No, I'm listening.
Go ahead, Miranda, or add it.
Add it. Yeah.
Add it. If she wants, she can go ahead first.
Go ahead, add it again. How do you feel about what they're saying? The whole story of a Uber driver or whatever. I don't understand how this fits, because wouldn't they have gotten food ready or what?
Honestly, like I said, look at the finances and of the family and everything, and it could be because right now we in trying times, and people are doing some of the weirdest shit. I'm sorry.
Right.
Doing some of the weirdest shit to get money.
You're
get
right.
Their bills paid off, get their debt paid off. And with this case, because I have not seen it besides with you, the little girl met up with a guy, somebody that's special needs, and he took her gestures as something to be familiar, which they always do, and they tend to attach themselves to that person. I think the family knew this, and they set him up as the fall guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they would collect on the money. Now, you guys said if somebody spot that person, they get $1 million. But now we got somebody that did spot them, and they are not allowed to get the $1 million.
Yeah, like when they spot them, they actually have to get that person. Like, it's not like, oh, you see them and then you send somebody to get them. If they don't get them, then you don't get that money. They actually have to get that person that they see.
You mean physically or something?
Yeah, they have to physically have them in their possession in order for that person to get that money. Yes.
How many kids did those people have?
Say it again.
Now,
how many kids did they have?
Just
the two. They have another daughter. Right? Another daughter named
She's so cute.
The baby.
When it comes to my head, I think it's with an A. It's a really cute name.
Ayla.
Something like that. Isla, right? Something.
She's younger than the daughter that went missing.
She's younger.
She's a baby. Yeah, she's a baby.
There we go. I'll show you right now. It's right on my
screen. The daughter that went missing, the guy's kid?
No.
Right.
This is them two, right there.
They've left the baby behind and taken.
There you go.
Now,
we can't see him.
You can't see.
If you're gonna take a child, why wouldn't you take the smallest one and raise it as your own, as so many people over the years have done with taking children?
Look how cute they are.
Because the oldest one is not his.
Right.
I would like to know at what mental capacity, like how mentally ill could he be?
That's
Like,
what I want to know.
You know, he's done all these things, gone out and bought things, and you know, ordered the food. If he ordered the food, like, at what level is he mentally incapable?
Yeah, that's what I want to know too. I want to see where his mental capacity is. Like,
Right,
what
because-
can he? Is he there or not there?
Because
I
most
wanna know
people
that.
would have been taken straight to jail.
Yeah.
But did you see how when they were taking him to the hospital, how they were kind of covering his face up?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of going like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because to me, even though the lighting was bad, this was done by somebody who's Aboriginal.
Was what?
That guy looked Aboriginal from what we saw.
So
that
they,
mean?
they look African American.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because he's a dark-skinned person, if he could, because he lives by himself, he's obviously high functioning enough to be living on his own.
So,
and the neighbors say he's always been a loner. So he's high functioning enough. Maybe he's not socially,
Accepted.
maybe his social skills aren't all there. Yeah, he's socially awkward. So, okay, that's fine, fair enough. You know, he might just be hello, goodbye with the neighbors, but never get into conversation with them because he's socially awkward because of whatever his mental state is.
So, Screets, here in the U.S., we want, like, disabled people to live in the least restrictive environment possible.
Yes, yes.
So we have
which is
services like the regional center where people can be put into places by themselves. They can live by themselves, but they do have people that will come and help them grocery shop and check on them. And actually people who will bring them food, which is what could have happened when that, if that was the case and the person was like a person from, like, you know what I mean, that was helping this guy.
So like a regular delivery?
Like,
is that what you're saying?
I don't want to say social worker, but
no,
like
I get
a service
I
from
completely.
the regional center.
We do have that.
Help them live,
We do have.
Yeah, that helps them live independently. So the person might take them and teach them how to shop, or they could bring them maybe the groceries. So in that case, the person may have come into the house.
Like a home counselor?
Right.
So like
independent
Meals on Wheels, like that kind of thing. Meals on Wheels kind of thing where they bring you food on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
or
but she
whatever.
means somebody who helps them live like independent in all
somebody that
areas.
helps them live in
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get what you're saying.
Someone that helps.
Can I answer your question there?
Go
yes,
ahead.
we have. Yes, we have same thing. So from the medical allied side of things, you'll have a social worker, you'll have your regular doctors that you see, and whatever the case is. But on the community side of things, which is where I come in personally as a support worker. Now, I could be a support worker for somebody who's either aged or has some sort of disability where they are functional enough to live on their own or in a group home. You know, if they need that extra care, they might be in a group home. But most people, aged or disability, they can live on their own because they're functional enough to be able to do that. But as a support worker, I can either go in and help them to shop, be there with them and help them prepare their meals, or we do actually have Meals on Wheels services that might be part of their package where somebody might come in and do the house cleaning for them once a week, or you'd have a gardener that might come in once every 2 weeks just to mow the lawns and keep your yard looking clean, or you've got somebody who will come in and help you to be more social within the community by taking you shopping, taking you to your appointments, to make sure that you get there. If you're aged or depending on your level of disability, I could actually then be hired to go in just to basically help you shower. So we basically do cover all areas of you being able to live in your own home and still live as everybody else in the community. So as a community worker, and a support worker, I can go in and I can help you with any of that. So there will be people. So this guy might have a package from the government that says he has X amount of dollars over the next 12 months, and then you split the services into what does he need in order to keep him at home.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have a completely different carer or support worker that goes in wholly and solely once every 2 months, because they just take him to his doctor's appointments and things like that. It could be a completely different person to help with the housework, somebody to take him out and be, go into social groups and, be able to socialize and help him to socialize and things like that. So yeah, that's where a lot of my friends and we've all done our courses, we've got our paperwork, and we can go into the community to actually help these people stay in their homes. So this could be one of those situations where if somebody had gone in to deliver food, if it was a Meals on Wheels situation, they've been dealing with this guy over several years, they know him really well, they know it's safe to walk into his home, he's not going to get triggered and something happens, something goes awry. So they could have actually come into the home and just sort of set up the stuff so he's ready to eat, and then they leave. That is more plausible than a delivery driver.
Yes. Right. Yes. That's
So
why I said more of
sense,
a personal delivery. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that sense, yes. But we're working on the theory that he is, he has some sort of disability.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like Fun said, he basically could have Peter Pan syndrome, and that's why he's able to function, but he's functioning with a child's brain in an adult's body.
Which is that considered a mental illness? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which will be,
but are they able? They're not high. They're not considered high functional. They're not functional. They're not able to function on their own though. If they're not at age. No, if they're not at age, they cannot function like you got some people that are they're able to function like a regular person, but they're still not like all there kind of thing, but they still able to function as an adult. But if you got a mind of a child, there's no way they would allow you to live on your own like that, because you can cause all kinds of, you could cause a fire, you can do anything.
But this is where it would come into, is he functioning like a 15-year-old brain? His brain stopped growing as an adult at the age of 15. So yes, he can, he can cook to a degree for himself.
Right. But if you're saying, at that age, 15. But I'm saying, like, if they're functioning at the age of 4 and 5 like that, then no, they're not able to care for themselves in that way. At least not by themselves.
If he's a 36-year-old man whose brain level stopped at the age of 15 or 16,
they can cook.
He could still, he still could be looking at her as his little friend.
Right.
Innocently as his little friend.
Yes.
So in that sense, okay, yep, I could see that, because he's functioning. He's been taught enough for him to be able to cook for himself, not necessarily anything spectacular, but spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah.
He can, maybe he can do up a little bit of a fry up or something like that. It's, bacon and eggs are basically easy for any 10-year-old to be able to do.
Okay, but look, let me say this though, because people need to know this. Just your biological clock is different than your mental clock. So just because somebody's mentally disabled doesn't mean that they don't still physically have sexual desires.
I know that. I know that because I remember going to a library, and this kid is sitting there pleasuring himself, but not realizing. I don't know if he realizes it or not, but he's doing it in front of everybody else. Like, we could hear him doing it. And I was like, I had to tell the librarian, I was like, can I sit somewhere else? Because this kid's over here making these noises, and I know what he's doing over there. So I had to move somewhere else because I wasn't comfortable with it. And I know he wasn't all there, but I don't have to be subjected to that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I took myself somewhere else. Whatever somebody else wants to deal with, that's their own little thing. But me, I went to the left. Always to the left.
So yeah. So there something could have potentially happened to her, like if he's not seeing that, you know what I mean? He doesn't know if it's it has to be an adult.
Yeah.
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 And that's the thing is there's just so much to this case that's so unknown, other than the fact that she's alive, she's well, she's been well taken care of. So if he does have somebody bringing him meals fairly regularly, say even if it's only 3 times a week, so you know these are meals where he can't cook these things himself, so they're bringing him good solid meals with great nutritional value and all the rest of it. So maybe he's giving these meals to the child, and that's where he's been missing out on meals.
It's possible because
Because
Meals
he's
on
been
Wheels,
looking
they
after
bring
her.
food. They bring you the cooked food, like plates of food. They don't bring you
Yeah.
food to cook. It's food that's
No.
already prepared in the platter, and you eat it from there. That's what Meals on Wheels does. So I think if he's not able, like you guys saying, if he's at a certain degree, he doesn't think like an adult or adult ways, he would probably have food brought to him. Maybe that's why the person's not getting the money, because that would be considered a government
Hold
person.
on a second. Hold on real quick. Hold on.
Worker.
Buddha, I'm sorry I didn't see you were in the background because I'm looking at other things in my background. So go ahead and pop back in. And when you pop back in, I'm going to listen for the sound to make sure that I pull you in.
Okay.
And okay,
Yeah,
Adam,
so-
thank you for joining us. Go ahead, guys.
Hey,
Sorry,
Buddha.
Adam.
Go ahead.
Hi, Buddha. Yeah,
Oh,
so,
yeah, she was
okay.
going to bed. It's time for her night-night because she's past.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the sense that, okay, he's having these meals delivered because it's part of the package that he has in order to keep him at home to survive. Yeah, he could have been giving his meals to the kid. So if he's coming up hungry, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If he's been starving him.
Because when Meals on Wheels, they're going to bring it to you. You're the only person that's known to be in that house. They're going to only bring you food. They're not going to be like, oh, maybe she's got or they have someone, they got a guest. They don't think like that. They think, okay, this is what we're supposed to do. We're bringing your meal, and maybe he was splitting it. We don't know that part as far as like if he's, what were they saying? He's starving himself or like not eating and giving her all the food?
This is it. You know, is a 4-year-old doesn't eat that much.
What are you saying?
Who
food?
I would think
they're giving him, he's giving her his food. Is that what they're saying?
I'm thinking more he went to the hospital because he was 5150. I bet
nothing to do with him being sick or from not
Well,
being.
did you see how when they were trying to pull it over him, how he kind of was like,
wobbling out of it?
Did you see that or no?
No, I actually had to go take care of something with my husband, so I missed the video.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Go ahead.
Okay.
So there's that, plus the fact that he also had a bandage wrapped around his head.
Oh.
Maybe he wasn't in the system as a mentally ill person. Like, you know how you have to be, like you have to go to the doctor and stuff. Like maybe nobody knew.
Yeah, but for him to have food brought to him, that's a government thing. That's not.
Well,
that's not done on your own.
It could or could have not been. Like, we don't know if it was like a Meals on Wheels.
If that, that's what I'm saying. We're saying. That's what we're saying. If it is Meals on Wheels type of thing, then that's what with the scenario we're going with. But if it wasn't, then we have to figure out what kind of meals they were bringing, like who was bringing the meals. Is it something that was ordered? Is this like an ongoing once in a while thing? We don't know.
Right.
We have to get more information on it. We need more details on it. Because like right now, all we could do is throw out scenarios.
Yeah,
we don't have all the
I mean, the police could have really busted in there and beat his ass, and then realized, oh, oops, he didn't touch the girl.
Right.
I mean,
that's a
but
incentive case like that. We don't know. Like I said, it could have been they busted in. He's like, I'm innocent. And then he's instantly hit this PTSD thing and he's been triggered. And then he's maybe trying to run or he's trying to maybe get past them and to get away from them because in his head, I'm innocent. I've done nothing wrong. So he's trying to get away from it. And specifically, if he is an Aboriginal guy, like I'm thinking based on the pictures that we saw, which, like I say, it was dark, but you can tell the difference between a black person and a white person. End of story. He's got a white bandage on. You know,
Okay.
so that then brings, okay, he's definitely a black man. Now, there have been issues between the Aboriginals and cops. Aboriginals don't like cops. So, and there have been in Australia a lot of Aboriginals killed in custody by police.
So are we sure he
So-
didn't touch her? Are we sure about that? Do we know about that?
Don't they take them to the hospital and check them?
Yeah,
Yes.
but did they tell us? Did they say
We
she
don't-
was
I
never
don't know.
touched?
I
We
guess
don't know.
All we know so far is she's healthy, she's been fed, she's been looked after, and there don't seem to be any signs of anything untoward.
So
Okay.
they said they
So-
checked her and like did a R kit.
Well,
Yeah.
either way, you know
Do
what?
that?
He could have just been starting with the touching of the fondling.
Like
He's
in
not,
your
he
hand
might
and
not
have-
go straight to that. He might not even have that capacity to do that, but he still could have fondled her.
How much
That's
time
something you can't
missing?
see. You can't sense that unless they have fingerprints. They're not going to be able to know that he fondled her.
Yeah. And
Unless
but then
she
does it a thing of he was just hugging her because she was upset, or you know, he hugs her every night and tells her a story before she goes to bed? It's where those fingerprints are is going to give us a clearer picture.
Right.
Because as any parent or even somebody who has that, you know, mental capacity is not quite there, it might just be a case of it's nighttime. She's like, "Where's my mommy?" And she starts to cry a little. He wants to calm her down, and you know, "You're okay. Mummy knows you're with me," is what he tells her.
Yeah.
She's okay with that because he's told her. She's 4 years old. Mum and Dad will be back soon. So he
Yeah.
hugs her and reads her a story, or you know, they talk
Calms
about
her.
stuff until she falls asleep.
Right. Calms her down. But at the same
Yeah.
time, could he have said that because it was true that the parents knew where she was?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super suspect about her being 7 minutes away. I mean, coincidence
It's the week.
maybe, but if they were like that far away at a campground, like, what's the chances that the kidnapper happens to live 7 minutes from you?
Well, this is where I
Right.
think it's very suspect.
Very.
Yeah. And like
Because
I said, aren't the zippers inside the tent, not the outside of the tent? Because you're supposed to be able to close it from inside, not who closes it from
Most-
outside.
But I think you can
Most-
close it from outside too, because if I'm camping and I set up my tent or whatever, I have everything I want in there, and I don't want little animals, a squirrel, whatever, to get in there, I can zip it up. You know, on my way out, when I come back, unzip it. When you're inside, I think it's the zipper that has that little thing where you could go.
The double zipper.
Yeah.
It's a double zipper.
Okay.
All the tents we've ever bought, all the tents we've ever looked at, all the tents that I know my friends have got, they're all double zippered.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since
And
I've
it-
seen a tent in person, so I didn't know about the zipper part of it.
And it doesn't matter if it's one man tent or if it's one of these big family setups where you've got a little dining room inside, you know, like you can set up a little dining room, especially if you're going for a week or two. You know, like we looked at one point at a 8-man tent, even though it's only 4 of us, we looked at an 8-man tent because it gave us enough room to have a little kitchenette area with a dining, like a little dining area. And by going with an 8-man for the 4 of us, it meant that we had extra room if we wanted to take up one of those blow up lounge things, one of those blow up lounge chairs, you know, so yeah, but they always are double-sided zippers.
Yeah, because when we had, and like I said, it's been years since I've seen one in my vision, like literally where I was able to touch it. We had the one where it had, like, they looked like what they call those, the ones for the ice guy, the cubes, what they call those, Eskimo people, you know, the Eskimo houses. So it had like an Eskimo house, another, right, the igloo. So it looked like an igloo on one side, an igloo here, and then you go into this, like, it looks like a hallway kind of thing. So you go through the hallway, and then there's another spot. So basically they separate it. So like if you got adults, you got these 2 adults, you got these 2 adults, it's like that. But it did 8 people. So each one it was like 3 different igloos, and it had like a little walkway thing in between them. But they're attached in a circle, but you can still separate.
Yeah,
So
those
that's
are
why it's been a minute since I've seen an actual tent. So that's why I thought maybe don't they zip it from inside? I didn't realize that you could do it from outside.
Right.
And the thing is with snakes and spiders and all sorts of things out on camping sites, you're going to want zippers. It's not like back in the old days where you might have had those little drawstring things.
Yeah, I remember those.
They, when you're leaving, if you're going to the beach for the day, you just tie up the little ties on the outside, but when you're inside, you can tie them up from the inside. Everything these days is all zippers, and they're definitely all double zippered over here. So unless you got something from way back in the day that your granddaddy had, they're all double zippered.
I don't think I had that.
It's been years and years, at least a good 20-something years. So yeah,
It's like the flaps with the Velcro.
Yeah.
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 Like even those sorts of. But with like I say, with snakes and spiders and whatever other little creatures could possibly crawl in, the last thing you're going to do is buy something that's, you can zip up or, Velcro the center of it. You're still going to have those flaps at the bottom where stuff can come through.
Right.
Yeah, and y'all have all kind of creatures there. This is not America.
We've got creatures. But yeah, at the end of the day, like she said, it was basically 30 centimeters basically from the bottom or from the top that wasn't unzipped. Now, Cleo would have been too short to be able to get herself out the way that, like from the description of the way it was. And another thing that just irks the daylights out of me is the interview that I saw. The stepfather was basically saying that, she was going to be riding her bike for the first time without her training wheels type thing. Where was this bike? They show you campsite. Where's this bike?
Right.
I never saw no evidence of a bike, no picture of a bike, no nothing. So I'm like, okay, that's where, when I didn't see any of that, it's like, okay, so you say you're going to go out and you're going to be doing all these things. But this bike thing seemed to be a real thing for him. It was mentioned a few times. So I'm like, well, where's the bike? What did her bike look like? Okay, the bike wasn't taken. Here's her in her pajamas. This is what the pajama set looked like. This is what the sleeping bag looked like. At some point when you're going through talking to people, it's like, this is where we set up, there would have been a bike in the background somewhere.
Yeah.
So where's this bike?
So if her parents did have something to do with all of this and everybody's celebrating that she has been found, what happens next?
They got to investigate it.
So anybody who gave information, like the shop assistant with the diapers, the person who delivered the food, they'd be interviewed much deeper.
Yeah, they got to
Anybody
interrogate them. Yeah.
I would just worry about her if she's back in the parents' custody and they had something to do with this.
That's the part I worry about too, because if they had something to do with it, they putting that child in the wrong arms.
Exactly. And that could be a failed.
Right. That's my fear. I'm like, what if they really did set this up and that's why we're going to watch this really quickly. I'm going to add it to the screen.
Can I throw one more?
Continue.
Can I throw one more spanner in the works?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's to say, because it's not his child, he's got something to do with it, and she didn't sort of really know. But what takes it away for me is her reaction. Yeah. That's what takes that whole scenario out of my head.
You think I could have been nervous for that interview?
No.
I mean, people are nervous. Nerves are gone when it's your child involved.
Yeah, they did that. They did that on the other interview, though. They did that on both of the interviews. Go ahead.
Somebody just popped up. Hold on, and then I'll say it. Okay, here goes Ron.
Yeah, they did that on the other interview where they were sitting there looking at each other and nodding at each other like, yeah, is that right? Is that correct?
I'm going to show one of the interviews. And I still think the mom, even if you're saying that was a scenario, that since it's not his kid, she probably had this going on. I mean, he probably could have done whatever with his friends, set something up, because the little girl probably wouldn't have ran or screamed or anything. Maybe they take her for walks. She sees this person on a regular basis. She says hi. Yep. She didn't make a big deal about it. So that's why she was okay when they came and got her. She's like, hey, I'm Chloe. She wasn't crying or anything. So he could have something to do with it and the mom not know. We don't know.
That's possible.
Yeah.
So let me play this real quick. Go ahead, say what you need to say. Go ahead.
So basically, you're saying like, how about maybe that that person might have walked by their home a few times and they said, "Hey, look at this is blah blah blah," and that's why she was comfortable with them.
No, okay. Like when I take my kids for a walk,
Mm-hmm.
there's certain houses he remember for certain different things.
Right.
This is a house where this lady comes out and she says, "Hey, hi, you want some candy? You want a bag of fruit? You want this and this and that." So he'll end up, or they always say hi to one, maybe, or they, this is the house where there's the kids at. This is the house, whatever. You walk longer than 7 minutes. That's not that far.
Right.
Whether we're talking walking distance or car distance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she may have seen him before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like he could have been walking by and they spoke to him multiple times and the dad was, like spoke to him, so she felt comfortable because it's somebody daddy knows, or somebody that my stepdaddy knows, I should say.
And some kids are stranger friendly because
they are very.
It's got to be something like that. How did
Now
she
look
go
at-
camping way far away and end up 7 minutes from home?
Right.
That's
strange.
But
we know
to
she
me,
didn't walk there.
She wasn't. Wait. She didn't end up. Like, how did you say? How she went where?
She went camping. She was at a campsite further from home, and
75 miles away.
Yeah, she ends up
75 miles away from
7
the
minutes.
This is 75 miles away.
Right.
But when they found her, she was in a house only 7 minutes away from her house.
How does that?
Yeah.
How does
That's
that
not
happen?
even a mile. That's not even a half a mile. That's
In
literally
10 minutes from the police station, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So
How does that happen? By how?
that's not even
Exactly.
a quarter of a mile. 7 minutes is not even a quarter mile. It's not even. It's probably like maybe an eighth of a mile, if anything. Like it is. It doesn't take long to get 7 minutes.
So it seems like either he's seen this child before or the parents know this person.
Right.
Something's
It's
weird
one or
about
the
that.
Yeah.
yeah, this is
Oh my God.
where
So,
I
you
really
guys,
feel
I know
like
you guys see me itching, but I just took Benadryl. I think it's because I ate some pineapples.
Oh my
Go
goodness!
ahead.
Stop eating things you're allergic to.
I know.
Right?
it tastes so good.
I know,
Hi,
right?
Veronica.
I can't.
Hi, Veronica. I hope you're doing well.
I do it with
Miss Veronica
Wait, go
popped
out
up.
to Veronica's.
Hello.
Hi, Veronica.
Guilty
I've
over here. I do it
Can't
with
hear
Trump.
her.
Can you hear Veronica? Hello, Veronica.
No.
Can you hear?
I can't hear her.
Me
She
neither.
was having problems last night.
Last time.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this video.
All right,
I
go
was
for
looking
it.
for the very first one. We'll see which one this is. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, now tell me if you guys can hear it right away. Okay?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so I know I need to do this. You hear it?
Continues.
Yes.
Yes.
Feeling is I'd never want any mother to feel.
The family of four had been camping at the remote Blowholes campsite in WA's rugged Midwest.
Everybody
Okay.
mute.
So then now tell me if you guys, tell me if it's gonna echo this way, because it normally doesn't echo this way. But earlier you guys were saying you guys couldn't hear it at all. So let me see. Normally when I play this, then it doesn't echo.
Somebody just popped up again.
Yeah. Once I start playing it, I'm not out of it. So I'm gonna check right now, but we'll see.
I'm gonna mute.
Do you hear it?
No.
That's so weird. All right, so let me see if it has me muted on that end. Because sometimes it does that.
I'm sitting here on mute saying, no, I can hear it.
I can't figure out all this technology. I don't see how y'all do it.
You're muted. Yes. I can see you're muted.
Okay, so that's
there
what
you go.
happened then. Now try this way to see.
Ow.
Where are we? Right here. Tell me.
Nope, can't hear it.
No, is it playing? Oh, I didn't know it was playing. No.
Veronica's backstage.
All right, I'll get Veronica in a second. Hold on.
Yeah, she's
So
so.
let's try it this way.
Hold on, Veronica.
Tell me if you hear it.
No.
Nope.
Have you tried to do it through the Chrome instead of the way you do it? It's a lot a lot easier and better.
Briefly suspended this morning.
There we go.
But this afternoon, they resumed with the mounted police arriving and officers checking nearby shacks.
But
we have
we
to
don't
hold
hear.
hope that will be found alive. We still have grave concern for Cleo's safety, hence why time is of the essence, and we're throwing.
We can't see it, but we can hear it.
Police are investigating.
She said
where
okay.
Cleo was abducted, with officers around
There
the
it goes.
state urged to be on the lookout.
We're good.
The reality is, if
You're muted.
What happened?
It keeps muting me. Okay, so now I'm gonna let Miss Veronica in. If she popped back in, she's just gonna have to hold on a second and listen from backstage. So I'm gonna start over. Hopefully this is gonna work.
Okay.
we do explore the scenario that there is third-party involvement.
Echoing.
4 days since she saw her daughter, Ellie Smith's nightmare continues.
It's good.
Her feeling is how I never want any mother to feel.
The family of 4 had been camping at the remote Blowholes campsite on WA's rugged Midwest coast. About 1:30 on Saturday morning, her parents gave her a drink of water. When they woke, about 6 a.m., Cleo wasn't in the tent. Her sleeping bag also missing.
As we passed the divider, I went into the other room and the zipper was open. Cleo was gone.
An urgent search of the land and sea has found no sign of the girl. Wild weather leading efforts to be briefly suspended this morning. But this afternoon they resumed with the mounted police arriving and officers checking nearby shacks.
We have to hold hope that Cleo can still be found alive. We still have grave concerns for Cleo's safety, hence why time is of the essence, and we're throwing as much as we can at this investigation.
Police are investigating the possibility Cleo was abducted, with officers around the state urged to be on the lookout.
The reality is, if we do explore the scenario that there is third-party involvement and Cleo has been taken from this area by somebody, we are in day 4. They could be anywhere. So that is why it's really important we get the message out nationwide.
Her parents believe someone must know where she is.
Someone has to. It's been 4 days. Yeah, they have to.
They just want her back.
Cleo was born 8 weeks early. She was premature and she's been strong from the day she was born. So I know she can get through whatever she's going through.
The Premier today added his thanks for the massive search effort.
And to Cleo's family, and on behalf of all West Australians, we are thinking of you at this difficult time.
And the community of Carnarvon has been spreading the message and helping in any way it can.
We sit and watch the sand dunes and we just think that she's just going to run down it and like back into our arms, but we're still waiting.
Police will continue to scour the area with hopes the weather will stay fine in coming days. James Carmody, ABC News, Quabba Station.
You're muted.
So what do you guys think about her demeanor there, though?
Oh my God.
It's not right.
It just,
both of them.
It's not at all.
I think she told the story a little bit similar to Trizelle.
She sound like the Darian Brown situation when Cameron was doing step by step. Too much detail, step by step.
Right. So it's like They said it's been about 18 days. So let's see. That is 14. So 2 weeks and 4 days-ish. Whatever. So I just don't understand why this is happening to people. And it's always these like kind of little younger couples. Except for the summer situation. But it's always these kids within this small age bracket from 2 to like 5-ish.
Yep.
And now it's not even in the US now that we're talking about. We brought in Australia. What's going on? I mean, look at this one. Can you guys see my screen? No, huh?
No, not yet.
So share.
Yeah, that was odd.
That was very odd.
I guess I gotta mute myself so if you guys can't hear me.
Sorry, y'all.
Veronica said it's raining so bad that the internet dropped me. We'll be back in the chat. So she's gonna say in the chat. Not
Poor
the
Veronica.
chat.
She's always has a problem.
I know, poor baby.
One thing after another.
Veronica, honey, I just hope you're okay, my love.
Yeah.
And check your IG. I sent you a message. Hope you don't mind. While I was out and about yesterday with hubby doing the taxes and everything else, we was having a chat about you guys.
You're really not going to tell me your name? No. If I do, then that means...
Really? Talking about?
I swear he must think I've got a whole new family without him. I told him to come up and meet the fam. He's like, oh, no. I say horrible things sometimes. They might not like me. I'm like, yeah, you do. Shut up.
Okay, so this says tearful. So let's see how we believe from our, in our opinion, how tearful do we feel this is?
You talking about where she's squeezing tears?
When she wipes her dry face. Or eyes.
Everyone asks us like, what do you need? And really all we need is a little... Everyone asks us like, what do you need? And really all we need is a little go home.
I want her to show us that video. Remember the one I was telling you about, Screets, where she double knots? Like, yeah, is that right? Is that right?
I think that might have been 60 Minutes for some reason.
The one I'm talking about?
My phone's charged. Yeah, I think it might have been a 60 Minutes interview.
Cleo woke up at 1:30 and wanted a drink of water. I got her some water.
Give her some water.
Yeah, she went to bed.
Then she went to bed.
Went back to sleep. Woke up to Isla wanting a bottle. As we passed the divider.
Passed her the
she
bottle.
went into the other room and
went into the other room.
The zipper was open.
See what I'm saying? It's like step by step. You don't have to even say all that. Like, okay, first of all, you're saying put her in the bed. Or no, she went to sleep. Then she went to then she said it again in a different way. Like it means the same damn thing.
Every hour that goes by with a 4-year-old out in this environment with obviously limited water supply.
I put her in the bed. She went to sleep. Same thing.
Shush.
Sorry.
I was just playing, by the way.
What happened?
Nothing. I told you to shush.
Oh, I thought that was her saying that.
No, that was me. And I said I'm just playing, by the way.
I thought she did. I thought she said shush, and that's why I was like, "Oops, my bad."
No, that was me.
Miranda snuck a shush on me.
I sure did. I said, "Shut."
No, but like literally, it's like she said, we put her in the bed. Well, what's she gonna do in the bed but to go to sleep, stupid? Like, come on. That stuff don't make no sense. I put her a cup of water. What's she gonna do? She gonna drink it. Duh.
I guess she's detailing, adding all the details for some reason.
To a lie. To a
Right.
lie. Yeah. Because you notice when they start doing all them details, like that question was like maybe 2 sentences. She done made a good 6 to 7 sentences with 2 sentences.
Mm-hmm.
That's like me telling, okay, like I'm explaining to you. You ask me a question. Ask me a question. I'm gonna see if I can give you a scenario of what I'm talking about. Ask me any question, just whatever. Ask a question.
What did you eat today?
I went in the kitchen and I got a pot and I cooked it and then I ate me some pasta. I had it with my fork. Then I got something to drink with it and I drank it behind the pot. Then I got another bite of my pasta and then I put the fork down and then I grabbed my cup and then I drank out of the cup. Then I put it down and then I picked it up again. Then I put it down. Like,
then
come
you
on.
refilled it.
Right. Oh, and I
Okay.
forgot. Refill. Yes.
I'm sorry, but one thing wrong with that whole thing. You said you got the pot and then you cooked. Did not tell us you cooked pasta. You cooked the pot. How do you eat pasta if you cooked the pot?
You're leaving out stuff.
I cooked it in the pot. Okay,
You
so
cooked
look.
what in the pot?
I cooked pasta in the pot. I said that. I cooked
Thank
the
you.
pasta in the pot.
How'd you cook the pasta though?
I cooked it with water. Then I put the pasta in.
Boiled it.
Then I boiled it. Okay, you know
No,
what
she
I'm
cooked it
saying.
in cold water.
You boiled
Right.
the water
I boiled
and then
it.
you threw the pasta in. What did you have on the pasta?
Oh, now they're gonna drag me for not saying every detail. Like, okay, I walked into my kitchen. She asked me what did I eat for dinner. I walked in my kitchen. I put the pot on the stove
How
with
many
some hot
steps did
water.
you
I
take?
boiled the pasta. I seasoned it. I put it in my mouth. Oh, it's not enough seasoning.
Miranda,
I put
what was
more
she with?
seasoning, and then I
Did you
took a
chew
bite.
it or did you just swallow it?
I didn't do either one. I just
Swallowed it. Woo.
I looked at it and then
Do you
did
guys
like
think that
really good?
do they have like teleprompters in front of those people? Like, I'm asking a serious
do what?
question.
Say it again.
Do they have teleprompters in front of the people?
No,
they're on
not when they
TV
have.
in case
No,
they-
not for interviews. They don't.
I would hope not. At
Yeah,
least.
no.
Because
that means they're telling them what to say, and that would be that would be the wrong way of doing an interview.
But it's almost like they're reading it though. And
Yeah, it does sound like.
She's doing step by step because she's a liar. She's lying, and so is
Yeah,
her.
it's like more robotic.
Man, but yes,
It's almost like they've written down the statement and they're reading it from cards or something, so maybe they don't get nervous and stop talking.
No, they can't do that. They
No.
can't.
Why not?
Because
gotta be organic.
an interview is something fresh. That's why it's considered an interview. If I sit down and I'm interviewing you and you're sitting there looking at a teleprompter, that means I'm telling you what to say. That means it's not an interview. That's just you listening to what I'm telling you to say or say what I told you to say. This is not a play. This is not a movie. This is an actual life situation, an interview.
Well,
The
fair,
news people
reality
use
isn't
teleprompters.
reality TV.
The news people use teleprompters to remind themselves of what they're saying.
That's different. I'm talking about an interview. That's different.
That would be like that would be a stage thing where, you know, if they're interviewing Tom Cruise, you'd be more likely to have the presenters' questions on a teleprompter so that they've got that to keep them going.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas in this situation, it's these sorts of situations, it's all organic.
Yes, it's
But
supposed
it's
to be
not.
organic.
It's almost like both of them are reading the statements.
No, what they're doing is they're saying they sat down and they said, "Let's say this. Let's say that." Yes.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
trying to watch it so that we can see, and then we can come back and have this discussion.
Okay.
So we can just watch it first and then discuss it, please.
Okay. We were just talking until you came back, Mama.
No, I'm talking about previously. You were talking through the whole thing.
Sorry.
All right, cool.
Sorry.
So let's
My
just
bad.
back over there. Tell me if it's an echo or anything going on.
Okay, we'll do.
Oh wait, I gotta mute me, huh? Let me mute me.
I agree with you, Jeanette.
Limited shelter.
It's good. It's fine.
Everyone asks us, like, what do you need? And really all we need is a little go home. We went to sleep. Cleo woke up at 1:30 and wanted a drink of water. I got her some water, and yeah, she went to bed. Went back to sleep. Woke up to Isla wanting a bottle. As we passed the divider, I went into the other room and the zipper was open. Cleo was gone.
Every hour that goes by with a 4-year-old out in this environment, there's obviously limited water supply. It is warm, very limited shelter. It is very, very concerning. That's why we do just hold grave fears for Cleo at this point in time.
We've got people everywhere, and we're going to find her. We have to.
Okay, so coming back to you guys, how does that sound? Like the way she says it, she goes, she sleep, seen out with her bottle, other side of the divider, came back, it was gone.
Robotic.
Like, it does sound like
1,
you
2,
said.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Each step went like detail.
Like
Too much
the itemized
detail.
list.
Too much detail. Hey, Christina, how are you? Too many details.
Right.
Something
Hey,
that should have been
Christina.
like 2 sentences was like 7 sentences for her.
And not
But-
emotional.
Okay, but also, okay, let's play devil's advocate. She said it so many times that it's ingrained in her head that as soon as somebody asks and she's put in front of a camera or some type of interview, she just regurgitates everything she said from the very beginning.
Right.
Okay.
Could
But
we
then
be
that
looking
would
at
go back
that?
to her practicing.
So wait,
Yeah.
if you're saying that, would you think they plant this, weeks in advance, months in advance, or what?
When right before they went to their thing. I don't know. It could be a week. It could be a week. It could be 2 days. But it's long. It's just prior to going, they had already set it up.
So you think they set it up with this man, the guy?
That's
Possibly.
I think so. I think so. It's a
Me too.
possibility. It's a very much of a possibility. But go ahead, Jeanette. What were you going to say, Mama?
Well, I just have the feeling that, like, I used to have to do reports, and the teacher would always say, you have to talk for 2 minutes. We'd have to prepare, and then there's some things you would have memorized, and then comes a time where you answer questions. And so, like, even like on other interviews, we've seen that, and I'm just wondering if it's just that, because when you talk in public, it doesn't feel the same, like coming out. And I can imagine, especially if you're in front of a camera.
Under a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're saying, are you saying as far as like they were timing her for the interview?
Like she knew she was going to do an interview, so she must have had some idea of what they were going to ask.
Okay, so interviews are like, just like Screet said, they are organic. When they ask you questions, They're recording it. They're just okay. So like how how we do our uploads, right? We do the videos and then we edit it afterwards. This is what they do. They edit it, not you. You don't edit it.
No, I'm
It
not
could
talking
take you.
about the editing part. I'm talking about the fact that she's prepared. She knows what they're going to ask. She knows they're going to ask what happened today. How did your morning start? When did you notice her missing?
They went through it. That's why.
Great.
What is that?
Oh,
What is that?
sorry. Hang on.
Is that the bird?
I was
No,
like,
I think that's
No,
that
no.
one show.
Oh.
oh shit.
Okay, bear with me for a sec, Naomi. I've just sent you. Oh, you know what?
Oh no.
Quiet.
What happened?
Okay, I've just sent you. I've just sent you two stories. One is the video that New's talking about, the interview with them where they kept looking at each other, and another one I've just sent you is what's it called? The behaviour panel.
Okay.
Yeah, the behaviour panels. Their question is another fake plea, and they look at body language.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that that one's
on
like.
here. I can't
Yeah,
play
no,
that
you
on
can't
here,
play
but
it on there.
I can play the audio, and we can listen to the audio.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Well, no. We
Body
need
language.
the actual visual,
No.
then we do the audio because they keep looking at each other to confirm what they're saying.
No,
not the body language panel, not
Okay,
their
but wait a
YouTube.
minute, hold on. But when you're watching the behavior panel, that's not going to matter. We already know what happened in our minds. We could visualize that, but we need to hear what they're saying.
Right. No, I'm talking. Oh, you're talking about that part. I thought you were talking about the video where they're looking at each other.
She sent her something different.
Yeah, she sent her two videos. The one I was talking about where they were nodding at each other, looking at each other like, is that right? Like, yeah.
Okay,
Am
where'd
I
you
saying
send
it correctly?
it to? Did you send it to my email or what?
I sent it to your IG.
Oh, can you send it to my email probably?
Okie
Let me see
dokie.
if I can pull up IG on here real quick.
Where was I? Where's those stories? You know me, I'm hopeless on this technology thing.
So I was saying, as far as like Jeanette, when you were saying that, no, that's not what you're talking about, the editing part. Yeah, I understand that that's not what you're talking about.
Let me see.
Yeah.
I
I'm just
feel
talking
like
about when you get ready to speak and you know that you're going to be speaking about anything.
So you have to be prepared, and the way I say prepared, I mean between her and that guy, which is her partner. They talk to each other about what they think is going to be questioned, and then when they go to that interview, they're prepared for that. Yes, but not the interview people. They can't ask them prior to asking them at an interview. They can't just say, "Hey, look, this is what we're going to talk about." They can't do that because then that would be not organic. That would be them putting words into their mouth.
Well, no, they're agreeing to do an interview. So they've approached them and they've said, we're going to interview you about what happened the day your daughter went missing.
Or maybe,
but they're not going to detail it, is what I'm saying. They're not going to say,
No,
"Oh,
but
this
they
is
have
what
an
we're going to
idea
ask
of
you."
what they're going to ask.
But the
right.
The person getting ready to be interviewed has an idea of what they're going to share.
Right. That's
okay. So you knew.
It's only about the.
You knew.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Did she send it to you and I shared off of your screen because I can't pull up my IG on here. I've never put it up.
Yeah,
So
send it to my email. That's fine. You can send it to my email.
Can you do that?
Oh,
Screen?
okay.
Yeah, you can send
Hang on, one sec.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm saying is
W.
they have an idea because what they're talking about is their daughter being missing or being possibly taken. So of course they have an idea what they're talking about. But what I'm saying is detail wise, it's just her and her man. Hey, let's say this. Let's say that. This is what we're gonna say. This is why they were looking at each other going, am I saying it correctly? Is this right?
But I'm saying there's certain parts where it's almost like they're reading.
Yeah. They're not.
Like they have a flashcard. They have, they might have possible questions in front of them. Something, but there's certain parts, and it was like that with the other family too, where he seemed like he was reading in certain parts.
Like
Okay,
maybe the interviewer asked a question and then they edited that part out.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm stuck. That's why I said there's a part with the editing. When we upload, we don't upload every tiny bit of whatever is being said. We only upload what we can. Let's just say, okay, the interview person
Sorry,
said,
can I butt in for a sec? Sorry. youknew@gmail.com.
yes, you knew 2021 at gmail.com.
You knew 2021. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
So
Go ahead.
okay, so what I'm saying is interview, like when they do interviews, they have only their shows are only hour show. Let's just say they already knew that they're the hour show. They're going to ask them what questions they want answered, right? And what they do is they cut certain things so they can fit certain things. They only have an hour show. Unless they do a part 2, this is what they're fitting for that whole hour, whatever they want to put in there. And if there's something they might have said that might have like didn't seem to have anything to do with that, they might cut that out just so they can put the more important thing in there. That's why you think it's being set that way. It's not they're reading a teleprompter, teleprompter. How do you say that damn thing?
Teleprompter.
The
I think
teleprompter.
that they give you. I think sometimes they give people a list of the questions. I really do.
Yeah, but then that's not organic.
They ask it.
That's
They
not
ask
organic.
Edit it out. What the questions they ask, like they might ask, "What happened that morning?" But you don't hear that part. You just hear them answering.
Because, like, have you noticed a lot of the people will answer the interviews?
Yeah.
Like, they'll answer it easily, and then as soon as the interviewer goes outside of what was given on the list, sometimes they do freak out. Like, that wasn't on the list you gave me. You know what I mean? Sometimes
right.
It gives them hard times.
That's not an interview. That's like, okay, let's just say if you're getting interrogated by the cops, do you think they have something they have to read and go?
They
No.
probably write down things. Maybe
Do you think they write things down for them to look at, or do they look down and go, "Oh, this is what I need to ask you"?
Yeah, I think that they're giving them a list of what the questions.
Are you talking about the list they're giving is to the interviewer or to the people that's being interviewed?
To the people that's being interviewed.
No, bro, then that wouldn't be right. That's them giving them information. They need, okay, when they do interviews, it's almost like a surprising thing. It has to be where they could trip them. If they can't trip them by having them giving them a list.
I think we're supposed to think that, but I don't think that's how it is.
Okay, that's fine.
But I don't know. I mean, we need to ask a news person that.
Yeah, I really feel like they don't.
Yeah, if they knew the questions beforehand, they could answer them a lot better.
Right.
Exactly. So why would you do that if you want to trip them?
That's why I feel like that's what it is.
The only time people actually get interview questions prior is if you're a celebrity, a head of state, somebody in the political field, because if there's things that the interviewers aren't allowed to ask you, so the reps or whoever it is for those celebrities or whoever it is, you've got to be basically be somebody who's out there well known in order to get a preview of the questions that are going to be answered. So if it was, let's throw Janet Jackson out there, for example. If Janet Jackson's going through something in her personal life and she doesn't want to talk about it, her team will make sure that whoever's doing the interview will basically give them a list of questions prior. These are the things we want to ask you. And if there's anything on that list that could end up coming through as being a personal question, they might turn around and say, no, you need to knock this question out. She's not answering that.
Right.
So come towards the end of the interview, when they've basically asked all the questions, that's where they might throw in that question they were told not to ask. And then they throw that in there, and that's when the interview will get shut down. Because it's like, you were told, don't ask.
Right.
Whereas,
but that's only for like a star, a movie star, or something like that.
Yeah.
But when it's a situation of some kind of investigation going on, they're interviewing the parents to find out information that may trip them. They might be able to get something out of them without them realizing they did it. So why would they give them a list to help them? They're not going to.
It's all got to be organic. And if there is a question that you feel like it's going to help, it's going to actually help you to trip them up, that'll be one of the very last things that you'll ask.
Yeah, you're not going to give them no
information. Feel so comfortable. You'll make them feel so comfortable, like you're their friend all the way through, and then you hit them with the whammy at the end of it, because they're so now comfortable in their heads, everything's going well, even if they've done the wrong, especially when they've done the wrong thing. They are so comfortable with the interviewer that they don't even realize that when this question gets asked, they go into auto mode and they just suddenly throw the information out there. And that's where the cops are looking at it, or the feds or whoever, and they kind of go, hang on, you've just thrown us a clue.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, they
And
just
yet these
kind of
people
sit
haven't
them
actually
down.
realized.
Say,
Yeah. But
yeah.
then the other way of also catching them out is when you start using past tense, because you know you've done something and that person's now gone.
Bingo.
If you're talking in past tense, you know something.
Yep.
If you're just like, nah, we want our little girl back wherever she is, we don't want to think the worst. But if somebody's got information and it comes down to it being absolute worst case scenario that none of us want to know, please let us know.
Yeah.
Either way, we know where my child is.
Yeah,
She
word
was-
association.
You know.
Yeah. And like with that is okay, so basically if they talk in past tense, that makes it more like she said, that makes you more guilty. Because if something happened, God forbid, anything happened to one of my kids or anybody that I care about, I'm not going to say, oh, they used to do this. I would say,
or
they
she
love doing
was a
that.
beautiful.
They love doing this.
She
You know,
was
they
a beautiful
do that.
little girl. or
Right.
something
You
like
don't
that.
say, they don't say, oh, she used to do that. What do you mean she used to do that? What is I mean, like that could be like she used to do it and now she doesn't do it. But at the same time, you don't want to talk about somebody as they were gone already because that makes you look guilty as hell.
Now, what
The only time you should ever say, oh, she used to do this, is if you specifically referenced it back to a time or an age. At the age of 2, she used to love to do this.
Right. Exactly.
Now,
but if
you
you're
know,
saying it
now,
like
now she's grown out of that behavior.
right, exactly. That would be a good scenario for that. But like if they're
Yeah.
sitting there saying, I'm gonna miss her. I don't know what to do without her in my life, things like that. Because then you're automatically trying to say that what your child is gone, that you don't know that you don't think you're supposed to be optimistic when your child is missing.
Yes.
You don't go straight negative.
No, this is where the summer wells, for all the stuff that I've seen about it prior to meeting you guys, everything I watched about it was in past tense. I couldn't stand watching it because you were not giving that child any hope to be alive. You're basically
Exactly.
telling us you've done something, or you know of somebody who's done something, and
Right.
this child is now deceased. End of
Yes.
story.
Exactly.
That just puts me on the back foot straight away when
Yeah.
people start using.
And then they were talking about resurrection this, resurrection that. Okay, you automatically just said your daughter's dead and she's gonna come back.
I would go negative because it's happened to me before.
Say that again.
Short time.
One more time.
I would probably feel negative because it's happened to me before for a short time. It was only like 10 minutes, but still.
Wait, what do you mean? I'm not getting what you're saying.
Like my daughter got up in the middle of the night and ran off.
Okay.
Ran out the door and I had to call the police. It was not even the middle of the night. It was like 3 a.m.
My brother did that too.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, what does that have to do with being a positive or negative if she's
Because I was thinking the worst. She got hit by a car. You know, I was thinking the worst.
Okay.
I get that.
And I totally understand where you're coming from, because as a mother or any parent, if your child, or even if you're a guardian of that child, the instant you find that that child is missing and you've got to get in touch with the authorities, you've had so many scenarios run through your head in split seconds that I could understand where you're coming from with that, Jeanette, where yes, you are
How
using
old was your
past.
daughter when she did that, when she took off?
11, 12.
11 or 12. But see, she has a mind to just open the door and go out. But we're talking about 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. They don't think like that to go do that.
No, but she's developmentally delayed. That she's got.
True.
At the time, I only knew about the autism diagnosis.
And it would still scare you, and you would still think negative.
Oh, well, yeah, because, but negative is one thing, but I'm talking about negative as into they saying things in the past tense, like it's already done and over with. You have to be more when your child
And
is
she wasn't
missing.
verbal. She wasn't verbal enough to tell. She only barely started saying her first words at 5. So she wasn't verbal enough to tell anybody where she was.
Right.
If they found her.
but you still have to be, you have to look at things in a like if something like that happened, I'm going to think more. I want to be more positive. I want to say my kid's coming back. I already know my kid's going to come through that door and I'm going to give my baby a hug. That's how I would think.
Like
I
you-
wouldn't think,
I
oh
mean,
my
you would-
God, he's gone. I wouldn't do that. This is what they're doing. They talk in past tense like that. Nothing to do with, oh, the child got hit in the middle of the street by a car. They're thinking that child is dead. That's not what you're thinking. You're thinking she might have been injured, or the worst scenario would be that she got hit by a car and she no longer is living, right?
No,
but they think negative into like it's over with. I'm never going to see my child again. This is the end. That's it. That's how they think.
I was thinking negative like that. And every minute that went by, it was getting worse.
So when you say negative, so are you saying like you thought she was snatched by someone and they were going to do something to her?
No, she ran off. I knew she ran off and I couldn't catch her. It was 3 a.m. I heard the door open and
so
she
what
was
was your
gone.
mind on? What was your mind on? A car hitting her, right?
A car hitting her, somebody grabbing her while she was running down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Me not seeing her again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I just think more positive. I don't think negative until I know there's a sign of negativity, that there's something that I should be negative about.
The sign of negativity is that she's not there in front of me. I don't know where she's at.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna think positive. I don't know. I have a positivity out. I look at things positively. Hey, 420, how are you? I think positively until I have an inkling that there's something negative to think. I just do that. That's just me, automatic.
For me, the only time there was any sort of positivity in that interview is when she said they were looking at the sand dunes, expecting her to come running down. That was the only sign of
Oh,
in that for
you're
me.
saying like giving them a memory kind of thing, right? Like not a memory, but like that should. I hope this is what happens, kind of thing. Like she was trying to give it a little positivity. That's what you're talking about.
It's like, you know,
they could be. They're just doing a play. That's just like them. I'm not saying they did anything. This is a scenario now. I don't know because I'm not a fly on the wall. I don't know what they did or if they have anything to do with it. But the scenario that I have in my head, that could be because they're doing it's like they're playing a movie. They gotta do those
real
steps
quick
to make it look like they're
Did you need to show something real quick? Did you need to show something, or you want to wait till I come back?
I could wait till you come back so we can talk.
Okay, and then Screens, I wanted to tell you thank you because there was a comment that I'm trying to get through all my comments, and I see you got at whoever, like, hey, if you don't like
Tommy T.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
No, that's okay. Like I said,
oh, did
when
I
I
miss
saw
something?
No, we can talk about it in the backyard later on.
Oh, okay.
420.
when I
Do you
saw
want
that,
to
it
pop up
irked my soul.
before
I had to
I
say something.
finish doing get inside ready for bed? Do you want to pop
I
up?
know 420 better say hi to me because he hasn't said hi to me since I said hi. Rude.
Naomi, please give Si a big cuddle for me. Tell him I said sleep.
Come say
Love
hi.
him and
Rude.
Come look.
Hey, Si.
Wait, what is
Come over here.
I can't see y'all. Can y'all hear me?
hey, baby boy.
Hey.
Hi, gorgeous.
Hold on.
He doesn't know which
Hi,
one you are because you don't
darling.
have the thing that he got. One of the things that
Yeah.
he knows.
Oh, the flower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the big one that says winner, winner, chicken dinner.
You see this one right there? Who's that?
Yeah.
That's one of that's Streets. Even though it looks different, that's Streets. Yeah, she's
Yep.
She changed.
Hey, baby boy.
Who's
Listen,
this?
you got to go to bed. You got to go to bed now so you can have a good day at school tomorrow because I want to see another green card. I want to see another green card, dude.
Green card today.
Yes, you did.
You did?
Yes.
Yes.
Proud of
What?
you. I'm so proud of you again, as usual.
And then who's
And
this?
I know it.
Miranda.
Who's that?
Hey, buddy.
Miss Jeanette.
Miss Jeanette.
And here? Yeah.
Okay,
And
baby
look,
boy.
right here, her name is Fun to Be. Right here, you see this little icon? That's Fun to Be. Say hi, Fun to Be.
Hi, Fun to Be.
She doesn't feel good, so say, hope you feel better.
Hope you feel better.
Oh, that's nice.
He said, does she talk? No, sometimes, maybe one day. You can tell them bye. Okay, go ahead. Say whatever you need to say to sleep.
Screets.
Yes, baby.
What are you doing in that bubble?
Because I felt like chicken the other day, so I thought winner, chicken dinner.
Who's he talking about?
He's talking to Screech. He said, why is she in that?
Different bubble.
Not to be in the flower bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go back to flower bubble just for you, my baby boy. Let me see. Where's my flower? I'll go back to that one just for you. There you go.
Oh, she changed it.
Look, Bunta B says she's happy you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He said, hey, oh,
Yeah. You're my favorite little rascal. You're my favorite little rascal.
You muted?
And
all right,
you got to
guys,
come visit me.
I'll be right
Bye,
back.
sweetie.
Okay.
Good night, sweetheart.
All right.
Bye,
Is
darling.
420 coming up or what?
I don't know.
I don't see anybody coming up. Let me toss the thing down. I'm in this room right now because I'm sweeping up the vase that I just broke. My mom's Chinese face. She gonna be. But
she said, I already feel better.
Oh, she feels better.
Just from you made her feel so much better. She said,
You know, I can't hear you. Is it just me?
Mama's beautiful soul. You can't hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, it must just be me.
Okay, so I'm still in here. So if you guys hear somebody pop up or they're right that they pop up, just let me know.
Will do.
Okay.
Oh, she said he has his mama's beautiful soul.
I can't hear
so
y'all.
Sweet to be blonde. Can you pull out and pull back in? Pop in and pop out. Pop in, pop out. Can you see me? Screech, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, honey, I can. Sorry.
Okay. I'm trying to see if Miranda could pop
Hold on.
pop out
Can
and
you
come
hear
back
me?
in. Pop out and come back. I can hear you fine.
Okay, now I can hear you.
I was going to say pop in and pop out.
And I come back in. I come back in and I couldn't hear anybody but Naomi.
Oh, okay.
And then,
all right, you good? Jeanette,
Yeah, I'm
you're
good.
good? Everybody can hear?
It was just me.
Okay, so where were we at now? Okay, so the scenario, like I said, I always think positive before I go into a negative, and I just think that's just how I how I deal with things.
Let me tell you one scenario. My
right.
son was at my brother's right across the street.
That's not a scenario. That's something that actually happened.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, it happened, but I'm just saying I was thinking negative. So they have a pool in the back. It's middle of the night, and he got upset and he ran out the door. Well, they chased after him, and my grandma lives next door, and they were looking for him everywhere. We all were, and we didn't know where he went. And the whole time he was hiding behind the recliner at my grandmother's house.
Oh my goodness!
I know I was so upset, but he was scared. He knew that he had upset everybody from running off. But anyways, my first thought was that he had like drowned in the pool.
Oh,
like,
Jesus!
Went to the back and fell in the pool. So anyway, I'm just saying I had a negative thought.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. That's a scenario for sure.
And he was like,
right
he wasn't, he was only about 5 years old, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that's why, like I told you, remember I told you that's why I don't like the neighbors to just come through here without me knowing that they're here, because their kids come in my yard and they end up getting in that pool and something happens to them. That's their issue. Because I feel bad that something happened to your child, but I told you don't come in my yard. That's a warning.
Well, that's different. That's the neighbor kids. My neighbors.
So it's a scary
thing.
Yeah, it's a scary thing to have your child be around a pool. And there is a possibility they could have fell in and not known how to swim.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I had it happen another time too, where the school bus never brought my son home.
Mm-hmm.
So I called and I'm like, where is he? And then they were like, we don't know. We we dropped him off. And I'm like, no, the bus never came here and dropped him off. Well, the police pull up with him in the back seat of the car. But that's after, like, the school administration even came to my house.
Yeah.
Because they had dropped my son across town and he was in kindergarten in a bad neighborhood.
Oh my goodness.
And he was nonverbal at the time. He walked into the store. I had his name and his information in his backpack.
That's good.
So he walked into the store, fell on the ground yelling, and the people in the store called the police. And
Oh,
that's how
wow.
I got him
Wow,
back.
you've had a few scenarios then.
Yeah, well, because I have special needs kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, even that time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I had time on that time to think real bad.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get answers because I knew I put him on the bus and he didn't come back on the bus.
I would think that my worst case scenario would go to like somebody picked him up. Somebody has him, you know.
Right.
But I had my son get on the wrong bus and he wasn't home, but they figured it out quickly that he had gotten on the wrong bus.
Mm.
Yeah.
So the rest of the time, like, my son's a senior, he still has it door to door transportation. But the rest of that year, they would, like, pick him up first, take him to school all by himself. And
Oh,
then
wow.
go
His own
pick up
little
the other
precious
kids.
his own bus.
Wow.
Yep.
They knew they were gonna get their asses sued. That's why I wish you would have taken my kid and then not. No, none of that. That's why I don't trust bus drivers. You don't
Me
never know what's gonna
neither.
happen with your
Me
kids.
neither. That's why I don't
My
let
kids
mine
were
ride it.
car riders through their whole life. They never got on a bus except for when my son went from the school to the welding school, which was like about 15 minutes away, and they made my son hit his head. That was the last time he got on that bus.
Yeah, you
I
told
literally
us
would
that.
take him from the school. I would pick him up at the school, take him to the welding class, come back home, go back to the welding class, take him back to the school. You can't do that, Miss. I'm not gonna. I almost said my last name. You can't
Mrs.
do that.
Jones?
Well, my
Yeah, Miss
husband's
Jones.
a
That's
bus
it.
driver, so
You can't do that, Miss
Miss
Jones.
Doe.
Yeah, Miss Doe Jones, whatever.
My husband's a bus driver, so I do trust bus drivers. But
Okay, you trust your man, right?
Right.
Your man.
My
Exactly.
son throws up on the bus.
Yeah,
He has really bad motion sickness, and then
Damn.
yeah, they would call me and be like, Bryson, they went on a field trip and they said, you know, he had puked on the bus, and I was like, oh no, and then he has to stay away from school for 2 days.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if they do, and I'm like, he just has motion sickness, but they still require you to stay at home.
Right.
And that happened numerous times. So I said, I'm not letting him ride the bus anymore.
Yeah. Like I said, when they told me that, they were like, Miss Jones, you can't do that. I said, I'll be damned if I don't do that. He's gonna go to welding class. I don't have no problem with that. I do have a problem with your bus drivers, and I'm not putting my child in there. If something happens to my kid, do you really want to get sued? Do you really want me to take you for everything you got? I didn't think so. So I was allowed to take him as long as I didn't go on the property of the welding class. I could drop him off at the drive, not the driveway. What they call that? Yeah, it is the driveway. So you drive in, and then I used to just go like this and drop him off right in front of the classroom. They didn't want me to do that, so I had to drop him off here, and then he'd walk. So I'd make sure he'd walk. He was good, but you can tell me I can't You can't tell me I can't pick up my kid and bring him to the place. That's not gonna happen. I'm his mama, and I do what the hell I want to do.
when Taylor was in preschool, I lived in the same town as my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I get a call from him, and he's like, I'm calling you to see if Taylor's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what do you mean, is she okay? She's at school. And he's like, oh, they didn't call you and tell you her bus was in an accident?
Jeez.
Oh, no.
And I would, because he wasn't the responding officer, but he heard the call, and he called me before they could call me.
Mm-hmm.
So that freaked me out.
And that would have freaked me out too.
But
And at that point, I say, Hell to the no.
Well, they encouraged the bus at my son's school. I brought him in tardy one morning. He was like 2 minutes late, literally. And the principal was standing there, and she said, "Well, if you would put him on the bus, he wouldn't be late."
Kiss my ass.
I know
That's what I
that's
would
what
have
I wanted to
said.
say, because she said it real, like,
Sarcastic.
skipper and like cheery, and I was like, really?
Yeah, she was
And
being
then at that
sarcastic.
point, me being me, I would have turned around and said, "Well, sweetie, that's okay. The whole bus would have been late if my child threw up."
Exactly.
Boom.
You're going to tardy a whole bus every day? Go for it, girl.
He
That's
would
on
have
you.
been absent for 2 days instead of tardy
Right.
for 2
Yeah.
minutes.
Exactly.
Shit.
That's so stupid.
2
They
minutes.
don't play.
Don't they at least give them a 5-minute, a 5-minute grace period? Lordy.
I mean, it was like I dropped him off at the tardy bell rings at 7:55, and I dropped him off I wrote down on the sheet it was 7:57. When I looked at the clock, it was actually 7:56 when we walked in.
Yeah.
So it was ridiculous. I was like, and they only give you 4 times before they call you. And you get a phone call from the principal after 4 tardies.
Yeah, they could go somewhere with that crap. Sorry.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. And then they call him and say he's been tardy 4 times. He can't be tardy again. So I don't know.
Ring me after
They tried to do that to me, and I told him he gets door-to-door busing, so.
Wow.
Well, I can't join on the conversation because my kid's been at school since 2002.
Oh.
Hey, Veronica. Nice to hear your voice.
How are
honey.
you?
I'm wonderful. What about y'all ladies?
Good. And
okay?
How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. I just didn't like the dark over here with them lights off.
Oh yeah.
Every time it rains, it shoots them off.
Really?
Wow.
Like just rain or like thunder?
No, just rain.
Just a rain?
Bad wiring. No, there's got to be some bad
yeah.
wiring somewhere.
Yeah, that might be dangerous too.
Yeah.
Hold on, it's loud in here.
Well, y'all would have seen me working myself on trying to get my son to her home. I don't like the dark.
Yeah.
Man, I'd be having candles going.
I'd be full so people know that I'm sick and I'm in here by myself and it's dark.
Yeah.
I mean, I never had any problems over here, but I don't trust nobody.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't blame you. But yeah, any school rings me for 4 tardies, I'm going to ask the principal. First question is, are you wearing open-toed shoes right now? Yes, I am. Why do you ask? Go kick rocks.
Kick
rocks.
rocks.
Kick rocks with open-toed shoes.
Go barefoot. Kick a boulder.
Go kneel on rice in the corner.
OMG.
You can tell I'm still tired.
Do
you know I slept? I got home just before 5 yesterday from the whole day of shenanigans, and then we were hoping they'd have my car ready by 2:00. We got there and they went 3:30. Hubby and I looked at each other and I thought, oh hell no.
No.
I knew you was about to do that. It's
So then
no.
No.
It's not as in mama.
Oh my God, y'all. Please.
Yeah, so we didn't get home until just before 5, and I thought, I haven't taken my meds for the day, which I have to eat something. So I made myself some toast and a cup of coffee, and I literally sat at the edge of my bed because my head was pounding. My whole body was sore from walking around IKEA, and you know how long that takes. And then, we sort of sorted out the furniture that we want, so that's good. But then, and it was kind of hot yesterday too. So I was just kind of like, you know what? I really need to be at home. So I had something to eat, took my tablets and thought, you know what? I've got the tablet up there. I looked for you guys. No, you're not around. Okay, that's fine. I don't know. I don't even know what I was watching because I promptly fell asleep. And at some point, my daughter would have actually come in, taken my headphones off, taken the tablet and everything, and pulled my glasses off my face. I didn't even feel it, but I know she would have done that. So I missed the entire last night and didn't wake up until she woke me up this morning and said, Mom, can you do a hairstyle for me for school? And I went, that's the time. She said, oh, it's just after 7:30. And I went, okay, then turn the kettle on. I need coffee. But yeah, I hella slept and now I'm feeling sluggish. And I was supposed to make a phone call to get a job organized for the vacay cleaner. I was supposed to do an invoice for the domestic cleaner. So all my shit's running late. And yeah, I'm going to be in the shit today.
That's weird that you're like in the middle of your day over there and we're like at night over here and finished with our days. With the whole day.
Oh, yeah.
So, Veronica, what do you think about this case?
Yeah. You've been watching it?
I'm wondering, maybe he didn't do anything to her sexually, but I believe he fondled her.
That's what I think too. It's a possibility.
Because she wouldn't know the difference, you know. She wouldn't know what that means.
And they
So she wouldn't explain it. That would be just like, okay, he changed the diaper, changed the drawers, you know.
Yeah, it wouldn't be no evidence.
Well, I mean, but you don't think that she's old enough to say he, done this or done that?
Well, no, because my daughter was at a home daycare, and she was 3, and she was fully potty trained. Well, this particular day, the lady's husband worked with her, and normally he's not there. He's on about his business. Well, when my daughter come home, she didn't want to take her. She should love to wear them. They call them tights, and she wear dresses with her tights, and she had her tights on. I kept trying to pull her clothes off, get in the bathroom. She would take her clothes off, and I kept asking her, well, why you won't take them off? And she told me the men touched her, and I went flying back. That was in the same apartments where we stayed. I went flying back there. And the wife gonna tell me, well, only thing he could have done was touched her when he wiped her. It was only with a piece of toilet paper. It was on. Before I knew it, the cops was there.
No.
The cops was there. No. And they moved the very next day.
Whoa.
Yeah,
they moved the very next day.
Suspicious as hell.
Yeah, you believe a child when they tell you and you know the difference. Like, I would think
I always tell everybody, children are not born knowing anything about sex.
Yeah.
That's a learned behavior.
Yeah.
That's a learned behavior. And when she told me somebody touched her, then it was on. I believe every word she said.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing.
After we left there, we went straight on to the emergency room.
I wish everybody would do that. Like every person who's supposed to protect a child would recognize that because.
Well, see, that's like my grandbaby. He'll be 14 next month. And ever since he was a little bitty baby, I've been teaching him about that. As soon as he was old enough to understand what I was saying, I always asked him, anybody touch you in your underwear? Anybody touch you at your buddy? Anybody mess with your private part? Let me know. And he always tell me, Granny, I would tell you.
100.
And his my daughter would say, well, Mama, and you ask him that all the time. I say, because his mama may not think to ask him that. His daddy may not think to ask that. And if the person threaten a kid, if they say, I'm going to kill your mama, I'm going to hurt your mama, I'm going to hurt your daddy, or they could say your parents say it's okay. Kids be scared. If you tell them that you're going to hurt their parents, and they really, really love their parents, they're not going to tell.
Yeah,
exactly.
But that's why you have to actually train your kids to know that's what they use.
Yes.
So that way they don't use that.
I told my son that.
But see, my grandbaby will tell me anything. He's 13 now, and he will come. He will tell me anything. We have that type of relationship. Like I tell me certain things you tell me that I won't tell your parents. I'm Granny. We got our own relationship. But you start teaching them as they get old enough to understand. At about 2 years old, the child should know what's a good touch and what's a bad touch. And nobody should be touching them between their legs or in their underwear unless it's the parent taking them to the restroom or bathing them. Nobody should be bathing the parents other than mother or father or older sister.
Exactly.
Now, my children were taught from a very young age, Miss Veronica, same as you taught your grandson. My children, from as soon as they were old enough to understand, It was a case of, if anybody touches you and they tell you I said it was okay, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
If anybody touches you and says, don't tell mum and dad, or that I'll
Because
do
it's no good
something
touch.
to hurt
It's
them,
no good touch up
tell
under the
them,
clothes. There's no such thing as a good touch up under the clothes.
no,
Exactly.
no. And that's where my children grew up, knowing that if anybody touched them and turned around and said they would do harm to my husband or I'm Superwoman. There's no way anyone's going to ever do anything to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So don't ever think that because somebody said I'm going to do something nasty to your parents that they're in the right, because no, they're not. They're saying that because they're in the wrong.
Exactly.
Therefore,
Well,
my
see,
children grew up
a
knowing.
lot of young parents now, they don't take time and sit down to teach their kids. And the very first thing they don't do is listen. You have to listen to a kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You have to listen real close. If a
Well,
child tells you somebody touched them, I don't care for some of their shirt. If
Believe
a
it.
child tells you somebody touched them, you best believe it.
Better believe it.
Because kids don't know anything. Only way a kid knows something about a sex or being touched is if they seen it or somebody done it. They're not born with that knowledge.
Or if an older
Exactly.
child tells them about it when they're younger.
Yeah, but then
You know
that's
what I
still
mean?
that's still wrong. An older child shouldn't be
Because
even telling them about that.
my son is 8 and my nephew is 13. And he's apparently told him a few things.
Well,
Yeah.
then he
And
needs to be
that's
kept away from
family.
him. They should never be alone together, because until you're ready to tell your child, no one else should do that. Because they may not tell them the correct way. They may not tell them the correct way, like you're going to teach them the correct way.
Yeah, and then the 13-year-old don't know crap. He just going by what
I
he hears
know.
and sees
He
himself.
and he repeats it, and then my son came home and asked me, like, Mom, where does the baby come from? Oh no, he said, how's the baby made? He said, just tell me the truth.
Well,
He's like,
until he get,
the
I would tell him, but my 13-year-old nephew will be kept away from him unless I'm in the presence.
Yeah.
Because if he's teaching him that already, imagine what else he's gonna teach him.
Well, he
Next thing
goes
I'm
and
teaching him how to smoke
stays.
weed.
He goes and stays with my brother at my brother's house, and he stays with him at my dad's. So they're always supervised, maybe not past bedtime on
One,
weekends.
he wouldn't be if he's gonna be there. My baby wouldn't be there because he's not. Your child is not ready for that.
Right. I know, and that's my problem. And we had a talk with my nephew, and we told him he's only 8. He doesn't know the things that you know.
But see, a child. I'm speaking on your nephew. A child is gonna do whatever they want to do when they out of the presence of an adult.
Right.
So since you know that he's already trying to teach him things that are incorrect that he shouldn't know himself, then if that child's gonna be present, my child wouldn't be there unless I'm gonna be right there. And he would never be in a room along with it. Because next thing you know, he'll all be trying to touch it.
Right. That's
You have
what
to
I was
watch that.
afraid of.
You have to watch it. That's how it starts out.
Right.
He get him on his good side. He get his little cousin on his good side. The next thing you know, he's gonna be trying something with him because he's already got this in his mind that he want to do it one way or the other. So you just have to be careful.
Yes,
and then
Plus,
and also
my kids
depending where that 13-year-old is learning that's where you gotta think about that
He has
mentality.
he has an 18-year-old sister that he hangs around. They hang out together like that.
So do you think his 18-year-old
Well, see,
sister is telling him things?
nowadays,
he's just
people are
teaching each other.
nowadays people are letting these younger kids grow up too fast.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're letting these younger kids grow up too fast.
My parents
They don't let kids are not kids nowadays.
Right.
Right.
Kids are not kids nowadays.
Miss Jeanette, you were trying to say something?
I was going to say, my parents had a godson that was like, he was 10 years older than me. At least. And my parents would keep him every summer. And he started messing around with me. Like first, I was really little. I remember coloring in the coloring book, and he would come up to the coloring book and draw a picture of a penis on it and be like, what's that? Do you know what that is?
Oh, no.
and I didn't know what it was, but he would like constantly do that, and then he would touch me inappropriately like throughout the years. And one summer when I was 11, he's 10 years older than me. My parents had, his parents were there. They were there. Like everybody was there, but there was a swimming party my parents were having. And I was in the house because I had swimmer's ear. I couldn't swim. And he came into the house and tried to do something to me, and I tried to get away. He pulled down my pants, and his dad came in and made me feel like it was my fault. Yeah.
So that is learned. That's
That's the way
probably by
that's the way they make you feel too.
And that's why
Well,
the dad defended him.
Yes,
because
his dad
it was
made me
learned
feel
by
like
the father.
His dad made me feel like it was my fault, and I
It's
never
not.
I never said anything. Never said anything.
And
It's
And
not
then,
your
but
fault,
see,
Jeanette.
that's where it
Ever.
comes in, where parents are supposed to talk to their kids before they even get old enough to even know anything about that. You know,
so then
at
years
about, I
later,
say, at about 3.5, 4 years old, you should start teaching them little bitty things.
Yeah,
So they'll
little
know
things.
that there's
No,
nothing
don't
that they
touch
can't come and tell. There's nothing that they can't come and tell you.
so
Let them
years
know that I
later,
don't care whether they say they're going to kill me or they're going to do whatever. Let that child know you love them and you're not afraid of anybody.
so years later, I'm already like 17. I was probably 17. He gets in trouble, like accused of a rape. And I hear my dad writing the judge a letter. And so that's when I told my dad, like, look, he did it.
Yeah.
Wow.
He
I'm
did
glad you weren't the victim.
Right.
No,
Like,
I mean, I
fully.
was.
You were
Like,
you were in a sense, but
in
like
a sense, he had my pants all the way down, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh wow. That's
But like I told my dad, like my dad was getting ready to send this letter off, and I'm like, no, like I
See,
didn't want to
that's why
tell
my kids never spent the night away from home. They never spent the night away from home. My sister, my brother, my nothing.
I can't keep
When
my kids.
they got old enough, they were like about. No, I'm saying they never spent the night away. When my daughter did, when they started spending the night, it was with my older sister. And I already knew then they were going to be guarded with their life, But they didn't spend the night with my brothers or nobody else, no cousins, no nothing.
But because of that, I'm like hypersensitive with my kids because, like, if my parents couldn't protect me, like.
Right. And your kids are especially vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of people take, when they see special need kids, they do take advantage of them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, her kids are especially vulnerable.
It's best for you if you can't be at home with your kids. Hopefully they can go with you, or you got a parent or something that you can trust with them.
Right.
If your parent know what you've been through, then they'll know. You let them know. I'm on high alert with mine, because mine can't really explain it. What's going on. Your kids, let them know your kids can't really articulate what's going on, and they wouldn't know what a real bad touch is and a good touch is. And a lot of special need kids, they think they're very friendly with everybody. Everybody's their friend.
But I didn't know, like, when he was like, now that I think back, I could tell the story like that, but I didn't know when he's grabbing my coloring books and drawing inappropriate things in it that
and like, the fact is, you should have been taught earlier on, so you would have known this. You could protect yourself somewhat.
I mean, I didn't know what that was. I never saw it, so I didn't know what
a
picture of it was. I didn't. I think that's why people talk about grooming.
Yeah.
But I believe that when a child start, like your cousin was doing that, I believe that's where they're grooming themselves to be pedophiles.
It was my parents' godson.
You were 11 years old and you didn't know?
No.
Oh wow.
Well, see, he was grooming her, and then later on he was going to start.
But
He's going to be a pedophile.
This stuff started with him when I was like 4.
Oh my goodness.
But
You should have never been alone. You should never been alone with nobody that much older than you.
He never did anything like that. Well, see, my siblings though were like, I have siblings that are older.
Me
So,
too. 10 years.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do too.
My
brother's 17 years older than me.
But I don't think my parents knew that I was in the house that day just playing video games on that little, I don't know, what was it, Intel? It was like one of those old game systems, and everybody was out at
like Atari or something.
Yeah, I couldn't
like
be
Atari.
Yeah, Atari, one of those. I couldn't be out there because I had swimmers here. So I don't think that my parents, they were having a party. I don't think they, realized that somebody's going to come in the house. But his dad knew it because his dad came in there and pulled him off of me. And, but made me feel like if I told I was going to
it was your fault.
Yeah, if I told I was going to get in trouble.
That makes me think the dad might have been
doing something to him.
Or
Probably.
maybe had been that way himself. Yeah.
Right.
Listen,
but they say usually hurt people usually hurt other people.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true.
Darlings, I'm going to have to
So
love you and
somebody
leave
could
you.
have very well been doing something to him.
Theater. No, I can come back and hang in the backyard later.
What
if
the
you
hell was that?
No, that was my mouth. I was having a brain fart. No, I've got a fair whack of stuff that should have happened yesterday and last night that I didn't do. So I'm going to have to road and go and get my life in order. Okay. And got to pop around. I've still got to pop around to a friend's place and make sure that mentally he's okay because he's got some stuff going on in his life. So I got to make sure my whole family all around the world is taken care of. So I shall love you and leave you. Yep. Thank you for the conversation and everything else. To those that are sitting in the backyard or hiding across the road, peeping through the window.
We love
goodbye
you.
To you. Come up. Love you too, Missy.
Bye, Screech.
See
See you later,
on
babe.
IG. See anytime on IG. You're more than welcome to send me a message. If you want to have a chat, send me a message. I'll call you back, whatever the case is, babes. But I don't want you being there on your own. If you need some company, let me know, okay?
Yes.
Where's Miss V gone? Is Veronica?
She's right there. Veronica, she's talking to you.
Oh, okay. I hear you.
But if you need anything, you can hit her up on IG. She's here for you. She doesn't want you to deal with anything alone. She's here. Just like that.
Yes.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet.
Nah,
Do you
honey,
have
look,
her
at the end of
Miss Veronica on
yeah,
IG?
Can you check your D?
I'm gonna find her. I need to go and friend her on IG.
Yeah, I did send you a message the other day. So go through all your unread messages, and you'll find me there. I probably sent you half a book of a message, but I did actually put on
that's okay.
Yeah, that it's from me, so you know who it is. But yeah, guys, have a blessed one until we meet again. I shall not say goodbye, but cheerio and catch you later.
You guys are gonna make me
take care, baby.
Bye
bye.
See you soon.
No worries, darlings. See you guys all later. And listen, don't go having fun without me because you guys are giving me a serious case of FOMO.
I know.
You guys have been doing stuff behind.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
If I send you guys a link, y'all better help up. That's all.
Y'all left me out. Don't talk about no.
Listen. You knew. Don't start with this. Don't start this business with me because you know in the last 6 weeks or 7 weeks, I don't know what we're up to now. I've been trying to get stuff done, and you have been harassing me. So we're gonna bite you and punch you and whatever else I'm gonna do physically, and then give you a big hug. So I'm so violent with you. It's great.
I'll send you the link when we get ready to go in the backyard.
It's like yesterday I punched my husband in the arm and he goes, "What'd you do that for?" I said, "You know I only tease people and punch people that I love."
Yes,
and he goes,
"Love you too, baby."
Trying to get in the backyard with y'all yesterday, and nobody was back there.
We love you too. We love you too.
Right?
All right. Well,
no worries, guys.
Those are the ones that are in the members only club.
Yeah.
We're gonna make sure you guys get the
Were you guys on last night? Did I miss
we were.
it?
The discussion we
It
were
was a little
having.
bit different.
Yeah, it was not like you guys are used to. It was something totally different.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah,
Did
it
I
was
miss
something we had to
I
discuss.
didn't get in either until the last minute.
Where
Yeah.
was I?
Well, that wasn't really the last minute because
Okay,
we were
so
really after we just started watching movies, but
Yeah,
we sent out the link.
So I missed
But a lot of people kept saying they didn't get it.
I missed
My FOMO is going through the wall right now. My FOMO is going through the ceiling.
I'm gonna
so I will catch you.
Okay.
What movie did I miss?
later. Love you guys. Bye.
Good night. It wasn't a good movie. It was stupid as hell, and I wish to God I never saw the sight of it.
What was
Y'all didn't watch the one I watched.
Stupid.
What's the one
I
you
guess
watched?
that's me. Am I getting ready to drop? Look like.
Resort is stupid.
Are you about to drop?
Resort is stupid.
Veronica?
No, don't drop.
What happened?
Why you want to drop?
I'm about that. Hello?
What's wrong?
Maybe
Oh, she said she's getting ready to drop because her internet probably.
Yeah.
But it was
all right. Well, I'm gonna just wrap
It
this
looks
on
like
up,
it.
y'all.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So,
I hope not. Well, hopefully I can
I
say.
am going to.
We can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry for telling that story when we're still live.
Yeah, I think it's maybe.
All right. Wait.
Oh, all that.
Hold on a second. I'm muting everybody.
Okay.
I am going to be wrapping this session up. We will come back when we find a little bit more about Cleo. We were just racking our brains today, kind of, going with the scenarios because it seemed like this ended so, I don't want to say too happy, but what is really going on in Australia for a child to be taken for 18 days and turn up fined, locked in a room? What was really going on? So we'll see, and we'll be back on here when we get some new news. So bye. See you guys later.
Or bye. I have my camera.